Have you ever noticed how just a few seconds of intense anger can cause more damage than you thought possible? Imagine this. In just the time it takes to snap your fingers, relationships can be strained and days can be ruined. It's startling, isn't it? How powerful and potentially destructive a single moment of anger can be. But what if I told you that this same powerful force, when understood and harnessed, can become a profound tool for personal growth and strength? Today we dive deep into the ancient yet incredibly relevant world of Stoicism. It's not just about enduring hardship, but transforming our responses to them for greater peace and clarity. I invite you all to engage in this conversation. Comment below with your thoughts and experiences regarding anger. How open are you to exploring Stoic ways to master your emotions? If you're someone who seeks to grow, who loves to challenge your own boundaries of understanding, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Spread the word and help others discover the power of Stoicism. And stay tuned, especially if you're skeptical about what Stoicism can offer. This video is packed with insights that might just change your mind. Together, we'll explore not just the theory, but the practical applications of Stoicism in controlling anger, with real-life examples and actionable advice. It promises to be an enlightening experience, so watch till the end to gain a full understanding of how to transform anger from a destructive impulse into a constructive force. Let's get started. Have you ever suddenly found yourself in the middle of a heated argument, heart racing, with words spilling out that you instantly wish you could take back? That moment, that explosion of anger, seems to come from nowhere, right? It's almost like a switch flips inside us. One minute everything is fine, and the next, we're swept up in a wave of emotions so strong that it can feel uncontrollable. This is what I like to call the burst of anger. A sudden release that can disrupt not just your day, but potentially your life. Think about the last time you felt this burst of anger. Maybe it was a disagreement with a friend or a frustration at work. It's something we've all faced. Anger is not just a simple emotion. It's a complex response that can lead to regrettable actions and hurtful words. And let's be honest, it often leaves a trail of damage in its wake. From strained relationships to missed opportunities for understanding and connection. But what if I told you there's a different way to handle this burst? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. Stoics teach us that we may not have control over every situation we encounter, but we can control our response. It's not about suppressing your anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that moment of eruption and choosing a different path. Stoicism offers us tools to pause and reflect instead of react. It teaches us to look at anger through a lens of awareness and understanding. Why am I angry? What triggered this response? By asking these questions, we start to take power back from our impulsive reactions and begin to manage our emotions more constructively. This approach doesn't diminish the validity of our feelings, but empowers us to handle them with clarity and strength. It's about transforming what seems like an uncontrollable outburst into a moment of choice. Every time you feel that surge of anger, remember, this isn't just an emotional response. It's an opportunity to grow, to embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, offers a unique lens through which we can view our emotions, especially those as volatile and impactful as anger. So, what do the Stoics say about anger? Simply put, they believe that anger stems not from the external events we experience, but from our internal judgments and reactions to those events. Now, you might be wondering, how does that help me when I'm actually angry? According to Stoicism, the key lies in recognizing that we have the power to question and adjust our immediate reactions. For instance, when someone cuts you off in traffic, your instant reaction might be anger. Your heart starts pounding, you might yell or gesture at the other driver, and your mood is off for the next few hours. But here's the Stoic twist. Instead of succumbing to anger, you pause. You reflect on why you're angry. Is it truly because of the other driver, or is it because you've allowed their actions to disturb your peace? This reflection is at the heart of the Stoic approach to anger. It's about stepping back and asking, what is within my control? You can't control the traffic, the other driver, or even the fact that you were cut off, but you can control your response. This doesn't mean you don't feel the rush of emotion. It means you acknowledge it and then choose not to let it dictate your actions. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions, anger included, should be indicators, not dictators. They signal to us that something is happening that might require our attention, but they shouldn't sweep us away into reactive behavior. When we look at anger through this Stoic lens, it becomes less about suppressing anger and more about managing it. It's not suppression because you're not denying or ignoring your feelings. You're acknowledging them, analyzing them, and then making a conscious decision about how to proceed. This perspective is incredibly empowering. Think about it. If you can master this Stoic practice, how many situations would be less stressful? How much more effective could your communication be? How much more peace could you bring into your life? As we continue this discussion, I invite you to consider the Stoic idea that virtue is the sole good. This doesn't just mean moral excellence, but refers to the idea of living in accordance with reason and wisdom, especially in the face of emotions like anger. By striving toward virtue, we can transform potentially destructive anger into constructive responses that align with our deepest values. So, as we unpack these ideas, remember that Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's challenges. It's about thriving through them by harnessing our inner strength and wisdom. Controlling anger doesn't mean we never feel angry. Rather, it's about managing our response when that feeling arises. Here's a roadmap you can use to cultivate a more measured reaction when you're tempted to let anger take the wheel. First and foremost, recognize the onset of anger. This is crucial. Stoicism teaches us to be observant of our inner states. Notice when your body begins to show signs of anger. Maybe your heartbeat accelerates, your breathing gets shallow, or you start to clench your fists. These are your body's signals, alerting you that it's time to intervene. Once you recognize these signs, the next step is to pause. This is where the power of Stoicism really shines. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, emphasized the importance of pausing to separate our initial reactions from our deliberate actions. By pausing, you give yourself a moment to step back from the immediate emotional response. This doesn't have to be long. Sometimes just a few seconds can make a significant difference. During this pause, engage in reflective thinking. Ask yourself, why am I feeling angry? Is it because your expectations weren't met? Is it because you feel disrespected? Understanding the why behind your anger can help you address the root cause rather than just the symptoms. This step is about responding with reason rather than reacting out of emotion. Now let's talk about reappraisal of the situation, which is a classic Stoic strategy. This involves reframing the event that triggered your anger. For example, if someone has acted in a way that angers you, instead of viewing it as a personal attack, consider alternative explanations. Perhaps they're having a bad day, or they're unaware of the impact of their actions. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce the intensity of your anger. Another practical step is to focus on what you can control. Stoicism draws a firm line between what's within our control and what's not. You can't control other people's actions, the past, or the fact that certain things have already happened. But you can control your response, your thoughts, and your actions moving forward. Concentrating on these aspects reduces feelings of helplessness and frustration, which are often fuel for anger. Implementing calming techniques is also vital. Once you've paused and reflected, use techniques like deep breathing, counting to 10, or even stepping away from the situation if possible. These methods aren't just about cooling down. They're about giving your rational mind time to regain control from your emotions. Lastly, practice regular reflection. Stoicism isn't just about reacting well in the moment. It's also about preparing for future challenges. Regularly reflect on your day or your reactions to certain situations. What triggered your anger? How did you handle it? What could you do better next time? This ongoing practice builds your resilience and equips you with more effective strategies for managing anger. By integrating these steps into your daily life, you align more closely with Stoic principles, turning each burst of anger into an opportunity for personal growth and wisdom. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate anger entirely, but to master it in such a way that it no longer controls you. Each step you take is a step toward not just greater peace, but also deeper understanding and more effective living. Let's take a deeper look at how we can put Stoicism into action, particularly when it comes to transforming our experiences of anger into opportunities for growth and reflection. Stoicism isn't just about handling anger passively, it's about actively converting it into something constructive. One of the most empowering Stoic principles is the concept of using every obstacle as a means to practice virtue. Anger, like any other obstacle, challenges us to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. When you feel anger rising, ask yourself, what is this anger teaching me? It could be showing you where your expectations might be unrealistic, or where you might need to develop greater empathy. For example, consider a situation at work where you feel repeatedly frustrated by a colleague's actions. Instead of letting this build into resentment or outbursts of anger, use this as a Stoic exercise. Each instance can be a moment to practice patience, to communicate your feelings constructively, or to reinforce your boundaries effectively. Here, anger becomes a signal, a cue that something needs your attention, perhaps a part of your own response mechanisms that you can refine and improve. Moreover, turning anger into opportunity means focusing not just on controlling outbursts, but also on cultivating an underlying serenity that comes from Stoic acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, it means recognizing and adapting to things as they are. When you accept that certain things are beyond your control, like other people's actions or life's unpredictable events, you free yourself from the burden of trying to force things to be different. This acceptance can significantly alleviate feelings of anger. Another practical way to put Stoicism into action is through what Marcus Aurelius called turning the obstacle upside down. Every time you're faced with something that makes you angry, it's an opportunity to turn the situation on its head and extract something beneficial from it. This could mean learning to communicate more clearly, setting more realistic expectations, or even just understanding your own triggers more deeply. Each angry moment can be flipped to reveal a lesson or a stepping stone to better self-mastery. Stoic practice also involves reflecting on the impermanence of our emotions. Anger feels intense and all-consuming when it hits, but like everything else, it passes. Reminding yourself of this can help lessen the grip of anger. You can say to yourself, "This too shall pass," and focus on maintaining your composure in the moment, knowing that the intensity of your anger will diminish with time. Lastly, share these lessons with others. Stoicism teaches that wisdom is not just for personal benefit, but is something to be shared. By discussing how you turned an angry moment into a learning opportunity, you can help others see their challenges in a new light. This not only reinforces your own learning, but also extends the benefit beyond yourself, turning personal growth into communal wisdom. So, as we navigate through our days, let's try to view each anger-inducing incident as a chance to apply Stoic wisdom, to grow in virtue, and to contribute to a more rational, composed world. It's about seizing those moments of anger and transforming them into something that not only enhances our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Empowerment through Stoicism is about more than just managing our anger. It's about finding strength and resilience within ourselves that we might not have realized we possessed. When we talk about empowerment in Stoicism, we're talking about the power to lead our lives with a sense of purpose, peace, and perspective that remains stable no matter the external circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that true empowerment comes from within. It doesn't rely on external validation or circumstances. Instead, it builds on our ability to control our own responses to the world around us. Consider this. How often have you felt at the mercy of your emotions, tossed around by feelings of anger, frustration, or disappointment? Stoicism offers a different path. It invites us to step back and ask ourselves, can I choose a different response? Do I have the power to see this differently? And the answer more often than not is yes. This self-empowerment is realized through the Stoic practice of focusing on what is within our control. You can't control what others say or do. You can't control the past, and you certainly can't control the global events that impact your life. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. When you internalize this, every moment of frustration or anger becomes an opportunity to practice this principle. You start to see challenges as chances to exercise your agency and autonomy. For instance, when you're faced with a difficult situation that stirs anger, Stoicism empowers you to choose a response that aligns with your values. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with deliberation and integrity. This might mean taking a deep breath and deciding to address a conflict with calm words, or it might mean choosing to walk away from a situation that is not beneficial to engage with. Moreover, Stoicism empowers us by changing our relationship with our emotions. Instead of being overwhelmed by anger, we learn to recognize it as a natural response that we can observe, understand, and manage. This emotional intelligence does not just alter our interactions, it changes the way we lead our lives. We become more resilient as we're no longer derailed by every emotional upheaval, and more adaptable, capable of thriving in a variety of circumstances. Empowerment also comes from the Stoic practice of self-reflection. By regularly examining our choices, behaviors, and reactions, we gain deeper insights into our character and motivations. This reflective practice not only helps us make better decisions in the future, but also fosters a profound sense of self-awareness and self-acceptance. We learn to trust ourselves, to lean on our internal compass, rather than being swayed by every passing storm. And finally, empowerment through Stoicism is about contributing to the greater good. Stoicism teaches that we are part of a larger community and that our choices impact others. By choosing to respond to situations with reason and calm, we contribute to a more rational and peaceful world. We lead by example, showing others that it is possible to respond to life's challenges with grace and strength. In embracing Stoicism, we find a powerful ally in our quest for a fulfilled and balanced life. So as we continue on this journey, let's remind ourselves of the incredible strength that lies within us, ready to be harnessed through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. It's not just about controlling anger. It's about unlocking a level of personal power and resilience that transforms all aspects of our lives. This isn't about suppressing what you feel. It's about understanding and directing your emotions in a way that's productive and healthy. Stoicism provides us with tools to not only confront our feelings, but to transform our entire approach to dealing with emotions, especially challenging ones like anger. Let's unpack this a bit. In Stoicism, one of the core principles is that our emotions are largely the result of our judgments and beliefs. When we feel angry, it's often because we've made a judgment about a situation or person, that they've wronged us, that an injustice has occurred, or that something should not be the way it is. Here lies a powerful opportunity. If we can change our judgments, we can change our emotional responses. To master our emotions, we start by examining these judgments critically. Ask yourself, why do I believe this situation is bad? Is it within my control? Can I look at this differently? This type of questioning is central to Stoic practice and fosters a kind of emotional agility that can be incredibly freeing. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, and you start to feel that familiar rise of frustration. A Stoic approach would encourage you to analyze that frustration. You might think, being angry won't clear the traffic. Can I use this time productively instead? Perhaps this is a good moment to listen to a podcast or an audiobook. Suddenly the situation hasn't changed, but your perception of it has, and so has your emotional state. This is where the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, comes into play. It's a Stoic mindset that invites you to embrace whatever happens as an opportunity. It's about more than just acceptance. It's a deep appreciation for life as it unfolds, even when it unfolds in unexpected ways. When you start to practice amor fati, you're not only managing your anger better, but you're also cultivating a profound peace that comes from the confidence that you can handle anything that comes your way. Moreover, mastering emotions with Stoicism means developing a strong sense of inner fortitude. Every time you choose not to lash out in anger, you strengthen your character. You start to build a reputation with yourself as someone who is dependable, stable, and calm. This internal trust is crucial. It's the foundation of self-esteem and personal integrity. And let's not forget the power of preparation. Stoics are big on preparing mentally for what might go wrong. This isn't pessimism, it's practical wisdom. By thinking ahead about how you might deal with potential frustrations or anger-inducing situations, you equip yourself with a toolkit for emotional management. When those moments arise, you're not caught off guard. You have a plan, and you have practices in place, like deep breathing, reframing your thoughts, or stepping back to gain perspective. Mastering your emotions with Stoicism isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-reflection, practice, and growth. It requires consistency, honesty with oneself, and the courage to face up to our emotions in a fundamentally different way. But the rewards are immense. Not only do you gain control over your anger and other emotions, but you also gain a serene and resilient spirit that can significantly enhance your quality of life. Have you ever felt like you're the one holding yourself back? You set a goal, make a plan, and for a while you truly believe this time will be different. But then life throws you off course. A distraction here, a temptation there, and before you know it, you're back where you started, wondering if you will ever get the hang of discipline. That frustration is real, and you're not alone in feeling it. But here's the truth. Discipline isn't about being perfect or pushing yourself to the limit every day. It's about understanding yourself, your strengths, your fears, and your habits, and aligning them with what truly matters to you. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics believed that true discipline isn't a burden. It's a form of freedom. It gives you the ability to act with purpose, no matter what chaos is happening around you. Over the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the 9 Stoic secrets that can change how you think about discipline. These timeless principles have helped warriors, philosophers, and leaders for centuries. They're not quick tricks or fleeting trends. They're enduring lessons designed to help you build a strong, steady foundation from within. Let's dive in. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on more powerful insights like this. Let's begin. Number 1. Master the art of delayed gratification. The hardest battles are the ones no one sees. They happen in your mind, in the moments when you're faced with a choice. Chase instant pleasure or hold out for something greater. It's tempting to take the easy route, to scroll on your phone instead of working on your goals, to eat the junk food instead of cooking a meal, or to spend money now instead of saving for the future. These small decisions may feel harmless in the moment, but over time, they add up. They either build you into someone strong and disciplined, or keep you stuck in the same frustrating cycle. The Stoics believed that resisting immediate gratification wasn't just an exercise in self-control, it was a path to ataraxia, or inner calm. When you stop chasing fleeting pleasures, you free yourself from their hold. You stop letting external desires dictate your actions, and you gain the mental strength to prioritize what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't about deprivation or denying yourself joy. It's about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term satisfaction. Think of discipline like planting a tree. When you plant the seed, there's no immediate reward. The soil looks the same, the seed is hidden, and nothing seems to change. But day by day, as you water it and tend to it, the roots grow stronger. Eventually, the tree breaks through the soil, and over time it flourishes into something remarkable. Delayed gratification works the same way. If you may not see the results right away, but every choice to delay pleasure is like watering the seed of your future success. Practicing delayed gratification doesn't mean you have to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Try introducing micro delays into your daily routine. For example, the next time you crave a snack, wait 5 minutes before indulging. If you feel the urge to check your phone during work, finish one task first. These small acts of resistance may seem insignificant, but they train your mind to pause, reflect, and prioritize what's important. Over time, this practice becomes a habit, and the habit becomes a lifestyle. You start to realize that the momentary discomfort of waiting is far outweighed by the satisfaction of achieving something meaningful. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing you can endure temporary sacrifices for long-term growth. Discipline isn't about never giving yourself a break or denying joy. It's about learning to wait for what truly matters. It's about understanding that the best things in life often take time to grow. Mastering the art of delayed gratification is hard, but the rewards, they last a lifetime. Number 2, understand the why. Why do you want to be disciplined? That's the question most people skip when they decide to get their life together. They jump straight to the how, creating routines, downloading productivity apps, or reading the latest self-help book. But without understanding the why, discipline becomes aimless. It turns into a grueling, unsustainable grind that fizzles out as soon as motivation wears off. The truth is, you can't build discipline around nothing. You need a purpose, a reason to keep showing up when the excitement fades. The Stoics called this telos, or your ultimate purpose. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit down to write meditations because it was trendy or because someone told him to. He did it because he believed in living according to his values: courage, wisdom, self-control, and justice. For him, discipline wasn't about checking boxes. It was about becoming the kind of person who could withstand life's storms with grace and strength. Without that deeper connection to purpose, discipline feels hollow, like steering a ship in circles because you don't know where you're going. Think of that ship for a moment. Out on the open ocean, the waves are relentless, the wind unpredictable. A captain without a clear destination would be lost, burning precious time and resources with no end in sight. Now, think of your life. If you don't know where you're heading, what truly matters to you, how can you expect to stay disciplined when the waters get rough? This is why understanding your why is the foundation of extreme discipline. It's not enough to say, I want to be successful, or I need to lose weight. Those are surface-level goals. Dig deeper. Ask yourself, what does success really mean to me? Why does it matter? Maybe it's about providing security for your family or proving to yourself that you're capable of more. Maybe it's about honoring your health so you can live longer and be there for the people you love. Whatever it is, it needs to resonate deeply. It needs to matter to you more than the discomfort of staying disciplined. I'd like you to try this simple but powerful exercise to get started. Grab a notebook and write down your core values. What principles guide you? What kind of person do you want to be? Then, list your long-term goals. Be specific. Instead of get in shape, write, run a 10K by the end of the year because it will make me stronger and healthier. Instead of save money, try, build an emergency fund to create stability and reduce stress for my family. The more clarity you have, the easier it becomes to align your actions with your purpose. Discipline without purpose is exhausting, but discipline fueled by a clear why, that's unstoppable. When you know what you're working toward and why it matters, every step, even the hard ones, becomes meaningful. That's where the real power lies. Number 3, build small, consistent habits. Discipline isn't about making one dramatic change. It's not a giant leap or an overnight transformation. Real discipline is built through small, steady steps. Actions so simple, they almost feel insignificant at first. But over time, those small actions compound, shaping who you are in ways you can't see right away. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus reminded us to focus on what's within our power, not on chasing perfection. He said, progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. The point isn't to be flawless, It's to keep moving forward, one deliberate choice at a time. Trying to overhaul your entire life in a single moment is overwhelming and unsustainable. But starting small, that's achievable. That's sustainable. Let's take a single drop of water hitting a rock. On its own, it seems like nothing. A drop is too small, too soft to make any difference. But over time, those drops wear the rock down, carving it into something new. Habits work the same way. Each small action, each drop, might seem trivial in the moment, but they build momentum and create change. The key is consistency. Start with one habit. Just one. Make it so simple that it's almost impossible to fail. For example, if you want to write every day, commit to journaling for 2 minutes. Not an hour, not even 15 minutes, just 2. If your goal is to exercise, begin with 5 push-ups or a short walk around the block. The goal is not to do something monumental. It's to prove to yourself that you can show up. Once that habit feels natural, build on it. 2 minutes of journaling might turn into 5, then 10. A walk around the block might lead to running a mile. This is how discipline grows, not through grand gestures, but through small, consistent actions that align with your values. And on the days when it feels like your efforts aren't making a difference, remind yourself of the water and the rock. Change is happening, even if you can't see it yet. The Stoics didn't chase perfection, and neither should you. Instead, focus on progress, on doing what's within your power today, no matter how small it seems. Each habit you build is a step toward the person you want to become, and when you string enough of those steps together, you realize just how far you've come. That's the quiet, steady power of discipline. Number 4, embrace discomfort. Discipline doesn't grow in comfort. It thrives in the moments when you willingly step into the hard, the uncertain, and the uncomfortable. We've been conditioned to seek ease, air conditioning on hot days, instant food when we're hungry, distractions at the first sign of boredom. But the truth is that the more you avoid discomfort, the weaker your resilience becomes, and resilience is the backbone of discipline. The Stoics understood this better than most. Seneca, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, often practiced voluntary discomfort to prepare his mind and body for life's inevitable challenges. He would eat simple meals, wear rough clothing, and expose himself to situations far beneath his wealth and status. Why? Because he believed that when you can willingly endure discomfort, you gain control over your fears. You realize that the things you dread aren't as terrible as they seem, and that you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. Think of life as a blacksmith's forge. A piece of raw metal isn't strong or useful on its own. It has to be heated, hammered, and shaped to become a blade that can cut through anything. The same goes for you. Each time you step into discomfort, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, you're refining yourself. You're building a stronger, sharper version of who you are. But embracing discomfort doesn't mean you have to throw yourself into extreme challenges overnight. Start small and let it build. Take a cold shower for a minute every morning. Push yourself to speak up in a meeting where you'd normally stay silent. Commit to finishing that one task you've been avoiding, even if it feels overwhelming. Each act of discomfort is like striking the forge, slowly shaping you into something stronger. And here is the beauty of this practice. Discomfort loses its power over you. What once felt unbearable becomes routine. The cold shower that shocked your body on day 1 becomes refreshing by day 10. The fear of failure that kept you from trying fades when you realize you're still standing after a setback. Every step into discomfort proves that you are capable of more than you thought. Number 5, control your environment. Discipline isn't just about willpower. It's about strategy. If you rely solely on mental strength to resist every temptation, you'll eventually burn out. The smarter approach? Shape your environment so that it works for you, not against you. When your surroundings align with your goals, discipline becomes less of a battle and more of a natural flow. The Stoics emphasized the importance of minimizing external chaos to maintain inner tranquility. Epictetus advised, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This wasn't just about ignoring criticism, but about stripping away distractions and unnecessary influences that pull you away from what matters. In today's world, distractions come in endless forms: cluttered spaces, constant notifications, and social media feeds designed to steal your attention. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They're barriers to focus, discipline, and peace of mind. Take a look at your physical environment. Is your desk piled with papers and random items that distract you? A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. By tidying up and organizing your surroundings, you're not just making things look nicer. You're creating a space where discipline can thrive. The same goes for your digital world. Notifications, endless scrolling, and an overflowing inbox are modern distractions that drain your energy. A digital detox, turning off notifications, setting app limits, or dedicating tech-free hours can restore your focus and help you regain control. Think of your environment as a foundation for success. You wouldn't plant a garden in rocky, nutrient-deprived soil and expect it to flourish. The same applies to discipline. You need to create conditions where it can grow. That might mean decluttering your workspace, setting up a designated area for focused work, or even rearranging your living space to reflect your goals. Small changes, like keeping your phone in another room during work hours or prepping your gym clothes the night before, can have a massive impact on your ability to stay disciplined. It's also about setting boundaries. If your environment includes people or situations that constantly derail your focus, it's time to reassess. This doesn't mean cutting everyone out of your life, but rather being intentional about who and what you allow into your space. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth, and set firm limits with those who don't. You can't always control the chaos of the world, but you can control what you invite into your personal environment. By decluttering, limiting distractions, and setting clear boundaries, you make discipline less of a struggle and more of a habit. As the Stoics taught, tranquility begins within, but it's nurtured by what you choose to surround yourself with. Number 6. Detach from outcomes. True discipline isn't about what you achieve. It's about the act of showing up again and again, regardless of the results. In a world that constantly measures success by external milestones like hitting a fitness goal, landing a promotion, or gaining recognition, it's easy to tie your efforts to outcomes. But when you focus solely on results, you hand over your peace of mind to things outside your control. And when those results don't come as quickly as you hoped, frustration, doubt, and burnout take over. The Stoics had a better way. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For the Stoics, the process mattered far more than the result. You can't always control the outcome of your efforts, but you can control the effort itself. Did you put in the work? Did you stay consistent? That's where your focus should be. Discipline isn't a guarantee of success. It's a commitment to the process, regardless of what happens next. Think about modern challenges like fitness or career growth. It's easy to obsess over the number on a scale or the size of your paycheck. But those outcomes are often influenced by factors you can't predict: genetics, market conditions, timing. If you measure your discipline by these external markers, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Instead, shift your attention to the process. Did you stick to your workout plan? Did you give your best effort at work today? These are the questions that truly matter, because they keep the focus on what you can control. You can start by tracking your effort instead of your outcomes. If you're working toward a fitness goal, create a habit tracker where you check off each day you complete your workout or meal prep. Don't worry about the scale. Worry about whether you showed up. If you're chasing a career goal, keep a journal of the steps you're taking. The calls you made, the skills you learned, the hours you put in. Celebrate the process, not just the results. When you detach from outcomes, you free yourself from the constant pressure to perform. You stop seeing setbacks as failures and start viewing them as part of the journey. Every step you take becomes valuable, not because of where it leads, but because of what it builds within you. Resilience, consistency, and strength. The world may tell you that success is measured by what you achieve, but the Stoics knew better. Success is measured by how you live, by the choices you make, the effort you give, and the discipline you build along the way. Let go of the outcomes. Focus on the process. That's where the real growth happens. Number 7. Reflect and reset daily. Discipline isn't something you set and forget. It's a daily commitment, refined and strengthened through reflection. Without taking time to pause and look inward, your actions can become mechanical, disconnected from your purpose. True discipline comes from understanding yourself, your progress, your setbacks, and the lessons each day brings. The simplest way to do that is through daily reflection. The Stoics were masters of this practice. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most disciplined leaders, documented his reflections and meditations. These writings weren't for anyone else, they were for himself, a way to evaluate his actions, realign with his principles, and prepare for the challenges ahead. He didn't dwell on his mistakes or pat himself on the back for his successes. Instead, he used journaling as a tool to deepen his self-awareness and stay grounded in his values. Reflection isn't just about looking back, it's about looking forward. By taking a few minutes each day to review your choices, you build a clearer picture of where you're excelling and where you need to improve. Over time, this practice sharpens your self-awareness, helping you identify patterns and make adjustments. It's like checking your compass on a long journey. Even if you veered off course, a quick recalibration ensures you're heading in the right direction. Start small with your daily reflection. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes at the end of each day to sit with your thoughts or write them down. If you're unsure where to begin, use simple prompts. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What challenges did I face, and how did I respond? What can I improve tomorrow? This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Maybe you stayed focused on your goals today, or maybe distractions got the better of you. Both outcomes are valuable if you learn from them. The act of reflecting allows you to reset with intention and avoid carrying unnecessary baggage into the next day. Discipline isn't just about doing, it's about understanding why you're doing it. Reflection connects your daily actions to your deeper purpose. It reminds you of your values and keeps you aligned with them, even when life gets chaotic and when you stumble, and you will, because discipline isn't flawless. Reflection gives you the clarity to get back on track, without guilt or self-doubt. As Marcus Aurelius showed us, reflection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's where discipline is renewed and strengthened. By taking the time to reflect and reset each day, you're not just maintaining discipline, you're mastering it. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself, what did I learn today? Then use that answer to make tomorrow just a little better. Number 8. Surround yourself with disciplined people. The people you spend your time with have a profound impact on who you become. Discipline isn't developed in isolation. It's cultivated through the influence of others. Whether we realize it or not, the habits, attitudes, and values of those around us shape our own. The old saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," holds true, especially when it comes to discipline. If you want to strengthen your own discipline, you need to surround yourself with those who embody it. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who emphasized the importance of virtue, believed that we should be mindful of who we choose to associate with. He said, "If you wish to be a writer, associate with writers. If you wish to be a philosopher, associate with philosophers." The idea is simple. You become like those you spend time with. If your circle consists of people who lack self-retreat or who frequently give into distractions, their habits will seep into your own. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with disciplined, focused individuals, Their behaviors, standards, and mindset will naturally influence you in positive ways. Think about your social environment. Are the people in your life helping you stay accountable to your goals? Are they pushing you to be your best self? Or are they pulling you away from the discipline you're trying to cultivate? If your friends or colleagues aren't aligned with your values, or if they encourage bad habits, it may be time to reassess your inner circle. Discipline is contagious, and if you want to strengthen yours, you need to be intentional about who you allow into your space. It's not just about cutting out negative influences. It's about actively seeking out people who inspire you to rise. This could mean finding a mentor who embodies the kind of discipline you admire, or joining communities where self-improvement is a priority. For example, if you're focused on fitness, find a workout group or online community that shares your commitment to health. If you're working on personal development, connect with individuals who prioritize growth, consistency, and mental toughness. When you immerse yourself in a community that values discipline, you not only gain inspiration, but also accountability. Being surrounded by others who are striving towards similar goals makes it harder to fall off track. Their commitment to their own journey reinforces your commitment to yours. And when you face challenges or doubts, these disciplined individuals can offer guidance, support, and the occasional push to keep going. Remember, discipline is a practice. It's easier to stay disciplined when you're in an environment that encourages it. So take a close look at your social circle. Are you surrounded by people who inspire you to be your best, or are you being influenced by habits that undermine your goals? If it's the latter, it's time to seek out those who embody the discipline you want to develop. Seek out those who challenge you, who encourage you, and who hold you accountable. Your environment plays a critical role in shaping your character and your discipline. Choose wisely. Number 9, practice gratitude and celebrate wins. Discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do hard things. It's about finding joy in the process and celebrating the small victories along the way. Too often we get caught in the pursuit of the next big goal, fixated on what's still left to achieve. But true discipline isn't about reaching an endpoint. It's about embracing the journey, acknowledging your progress, and finding gratitude in every step forward. The Stoics understood the power of gratitude. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations often reflected on the importance of recognizing the abundance in life, even amidst hardship. He wrote, "Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them." This simple act of focusing on the good, of acknowledging what you have rather than what you lack, shifts your perspective in profound ways. When you practice gratitude, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, strengthening your resolve to keep moving forward, no matter the challenges. Gratitude isn't just an emotional response, it's a powerful tool that supports your discipline. When you acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small, you reinforce the behaviors that got you there. Every step you take toward your goal deserves recognition. Discipline thrives when you celebrate the effort, not just the result. If you focus only on what you haven't accomplished yet, you risk burnout. But when you celebrate what you have done, you build momentum, boost your motivation, and increase your capacity to stay disciplined. Start by celebrating small victories. Did you stick to your workout routine this week? Did you manage to work on your project even when distractions were tempting? That's progress, and it deserves to be acknowledged. The more you celebrate, the more you affirm the positive habits that keep you moving forward. By shifting your focus from what's lacking to what's been achieved, you build a foundation of positive reinforcement that keeps discipline alive and thriving. To make this practice a habit, consider ending your day with gratitude. Take a moment each evening to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. These don't have to be grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as being thankful for a productive day, for a moment of clarity, or even for the lessons learned from a challenge. By closing each day with gratitude, you end on a positive note, shifting your focus away from what you didn't accomplish and towards what you did. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine isn't just a feel-good practice. It's an essential part of maintaining discipline. It nurtures your spirit, reinforces your commitment to your goals, and reminds you that every small step is part of the bigger picture. In a world where every smile hides deeper thoughts, and every handshake means more than just a greeting, it's easy to overlook the true nature of a person. Today, we'll dive into the hidden layers of trust and deception, exploring the complexities of human relationships. The Stoics remind us that while we can't control the actions of others, we can control how we respond and understand them, which shapes our connections. Join me as we uncover the hidden forces in everyday interactions and learn the wisdom that can help us live not only successful, but truly meaningful lives. Stick with us, and by the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to approach the world, not just carefully, but with true insight. If you appreciate what we're doing, a quick, free favor I'll ask is for you to hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you don't skip any part of the video to fully grasp the valuable insights and stories we're about to share. Let's dive in. Number 1. The constant critic. This person seems to have made it their mission to find fault in everything around them. Every project you undertake, every idea you propose, every aspect of your personality might never seem good enough for them. Their feedback, often lacking the warmth of constructive criticism, feels more like relentless judgment, chipping away at your confidence and self-esteem with each comment. The constant critic often operates under the guise of just being honest or helping you improve. But there's a fine line between helpful criticism and discouraging nitpicking. Their relentless critiques can create a toxic environment where, instead of growing, you find yourself guarding every action, every word, for fear of criticism. This stifles creativity and initiative, making you doubt your abilities and value. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." This powerful Stoic reminder teaches us not to internalize the harsh words or negative perceptions of others. Stoicism invites us to consider the source of criticism and to reflect on whether there is truth and value in it. If there is something to be learned, use it to your advantage. If not, let it roll off you like water off a duck's back. To deal with a constant critic, it's essential to maintain perspective. Understand that their criticism says more about their own worldviews, insecurities, or personal frustrations than it does about your capabilities or worth. Construct boundaries to protect your mental space. You can listen, assess, and then choose whether to accept or discard their words. Engage with them from a place of strength, acknowledging the feedback without allowing it to diminish your sense of self-worth. In Stoic practice, we learn to focus on our own actions and reactions, which are within our control, rather than attempting to control the opinions or behavior of others, which are not. By applying this principle, you can preserve your inner peace and continue your journey of personal growth, even in the face of constant criticism. Number 2. The manipulative friend. This is someone who at first glance seems to understand you better than anyone else. They nod at all the right moments, and their empathetic smiles seem tailor-made just for you. But as time marches on, a disturbing pattern emerges. You begin to notice that their understanding isn't fueled by genuine care, but rather it's a strategic play, using your vulnerabilities for their personal gain. They are like the chess players of social interactions, each move calculated, not to help you, but to advance their position. In your moments of sharing and vulnerability, they're not just listening, they're collecting information. This data isn't stored away to support you. Instead, it's often weaponized, used to push you towards decisions and actions that serve their interests, not yours. Their guise of care is just that, a disguise, and under this mask is not the ally you thought you had, but a strategist who views relationships as tools to be used rather than bonds to be cherished. Correct them. Now, Stoicism teaches us to seek clarity over comfort, truth over pleasant illusions. Marcus Aurelius advised us to be wary of the impressionable nature of our own minds and the intentions of those around us. He would likely counsel us to observe not just what friends say, but what they do, their actions, how they discuss other friends when they're not around, how they handle your secrets, and how they respect your boundaries. These are the true indicators of their character. So, how do you deal with a manipulative friend? Start by setting firm, clear boundaries. Share selectively, understanding that not every internal thought needs external validation, especially from someone whose motivations are questionable. Slowly distance yourself from their influence and invest more in relationships that bring positivity and growth. Real friends enhance your life and inspire you to expand rather than contract. They add layers to your existence through support and genuine care, not subtract from it through manipulation and deceit. Number 3, the inattentive listener. You know the type. They nod in agreement and might even throw in a vague, but you can tell they're not really with you. They're physically present, yes, but mentally they've checked out to some distant place, far from the conversation at hand. It's like talking to a wall that occasionally nods. These interactions can be incredibly frustrating because they lack the fundamental essence of communication, genuine exchange, and understanding. Relationships, be they personal or professional, thrive on mutual understanding and active engagement. When someone consistently fails to pay attention, it sends a clear message. What you're saying isn't important to them. This behavior not only stifles the flow of ideas, but also erodes the emotional connection that true listening can forge. Effective communication is a two-way street, and when it becomes one-sided, the relationship suffers. The Stoic practice of present-mindedness teaches us to fully engage with the task at hand. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, listening attentively is not just a courtesy, it's a duty. It's about respecting the person speaking to you by giving them your full attention, reflecting the Stoic belief in the importance of every human interaction. If you find yourself frequently on the other end of an inattentive listener, there are a few Stoic strategies you might employ. First, ensure your own communication is clear and engaging. Sometimes simply asking direct questions can snap the listener out of their reverie and bring them back to the moment. If that doesn't work, a gentle call-out might be necessary. Let them know you've noticed their distraction and invite them back into the conversation. However, if the pattern persists, it might be worth considering the value this person adds to your life. Are they giving you the respect and attention you deserve? If not, it may be time to redirect your energy towards relationships where mutual engagement and respect are given freely. Number 4. The superficially friendly. At first glance, they seem like the most personable individuals you could meet. With a wide smile, they'll ask about your day and make all the right noises that suggest they care. But, as you soon might discover, their warmth has little depth, resembling more a shallow puddle than a welcoming ocean. These individuals are the social butterflies, gracefully moving from one group to another, never really settling long enough to form deep, meaningful connections. In the world of these superficially friendly people, interactions are often a series of pleasant exchanges that skim the surface of politeness, but never dive into the essence of true friendship. They might be present at every party and appear in all your social circles, but when the chips are down, their presence is often as fleeting as their commitment. True friendship, as we know, isn't just about sharing laughs in the sunlight. It's about standing together in the storm, something these individuals may find too daunting. Stoicism teaches us the importance of genuine relationships and the value of a small circle of close friends over a wide network of acquaintances. Seneca emphasized the quality of friendships rather than quantity. He advocated for relationships where mutual respect and sincerity prevail, guiding us to seek friends who mirror our own values and who provide a stable, reliable presence in our lives. To navigate the realm of the superficially friendly, it's crucial to recognize the signs early. Enjoy their company if you must, in those light-hearted moments that require nothing more than casual interaction. However, invest your emotional energy wisely. Reserve the depths of your trust and the details of your vulnerabilities for those who have proven themselves in times of both joy and adversity. Cultivating discernment in your social interactions isn't just wise, it's necessary to protect your emotional well-being and ensure that your circle remains authentic. Number 5. The constant irritator. This person seems to have mastered the art of irritation. With their knack for poking and prodding, they know exactly how to get under your skin, whether it's through subtle digs, backhanded compliments, or slight provocations. They engage in a sort of emotional chess game. Their goal? To unsettle you, to knock you off balance. For their amusement or advantage, the constant irritator thrives on the reaction they can elicit from you. Each annoyed glance, each sigh of frustration is a win for them, a testament to their ability to manipulate the emotional currents around them. This can be incredibly draining, as it feels like you must constantly guard against their next move, always bracing for the small yet persistent annoyances they create. However, here is where the Stoic teachings can become your stronghold. Stoicism tells us that external events and people's actions don't upset us. Rather, it's our judgments about them that do. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom is particularly applicable when dealing with the constant irritation. By adjusting your perceptions, by deciding that their actions will not dictate your emotional state, you empower yourself. You take control back from the irritator and place it firmly within yourself. Practicing this Stoic detachment involves recognizing the intent behind their irritations. Once you see that their behavior is designed to unbalance you, you can choose not to let it affect you. Imagine their words and actions losing power, fading into the background noise of your life. It's not about ignoring them or pretending the irritation doesn't exist, but rather about changing your response to it. You can acknowledge their attempt to unsettle you without granting them the victory of seeing you perturbed. Engaging with a constant irritator thus becomes less about confronting each irritation and more about maintaining your inner peace. This is the ultimate demonstration of strength. Not that you never feel irritated, but that you can move beyond it, preserving your tranquility amidst the storm they try to stir. Number 6. The empathy-lacking individual. This type of person can be particularly challenging to deal with because they seem almost blind to the emotional landscapes of others. They navigate through life focused solely on their own needs and goals, often at the expense of those around them. Their conversations may center overwhelmingly on their achievements, their problems, and their perspectives, with little regard for anyone else's. In interactions with an empathy-lacking individual, you might find that your feelings and experiences are consistently dismissed or outright ignored. This isn't just about a lack of emotional intelligence. It's a fundamental disconnect in recognizing and valuing the humanity in others. Such individuals often leave a trail of bruised relationships behind them, puzzled as to why their interactions are fraught with conflicts and misunderstandings. Stoicism offers a profound remedy to this mindset. It teaches us the importance of looking beyond ourselves and understanding that the human experience is interconnected. Stoics like Epictetus emphasize the role of empathy in human ethics. He taught that we should listen and respond to others with kindness and understanding, recognizing that we are all part of a larger community, each with our own struggles and triumphs. If you find yourself dealing with someone who lacks empathy, Stoicism advises not to meet their indifference with anger or resentment. Instead, see this as an opportunity to practice patience and to lead by example. Show them empathy, not because they necessarily deserve it, but because it's the virtuous thing to do. However, it's also important to set boundaries. Protecting your emotional well-being is crucial, and sometimes that means limiting your exposure to those who drain it. Engaging with an empathy-lacking individual requires a balance of compassion and self-preservation. While you can attempt to model empathetic behavior, you must also recognize when to step back and not allow their self-centeredness to impact your peace. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius pointed out, what we do now echoes in eternity and compassion, even in the face of apathy. This is not just about changing them, it's about holding true to your values, regardless of how others choose to act. Number 7. The eternal victim. This individual seems to live in a perpetual state of crisis. No matter the day, the season, or the circumstance, something is always going terribly wrong for them. But what's particularly challenging about the eternal victim is not just the frequency of their misfortunes, it's their apparent unwillingness to do anything about them. They seem to thrive on the sympathy and attention their woes attract, using their endless stream of problems as a tool to draw others in and keep them close. And the prevalence of suicide among the victims can be pointed to as a sign to some extent as well. The eternal victim's tales of woe can be emotionally draining. You might find yourself constantly pulled into their dramas, spending energy and time trying to help solve problems that mysteriously never seem to get resolved. Their dependency on your support might feel rewarding at first, as if your presence truly matters. However, it often leads to a one-sided relationship, where your efforts are taken for granted and your own needs and issues are sidelined or ignored. Stoicism offers a powerful framework for dealing with the eternal victim. Stoics like Epictetus taught that we should concern ourselves with things within our control and accept those that are not. When interacting with an eternal victim, it's crucial to recognize the limits of your influence. You can offer support and guidance, but you cannot change their situation. Only they can do that. The Stoics would advise us to practice empathy, but also detachment. Empathize with their pain, but detach from the notion that you are responsible for fixing their life. It's also wise to set boundaries with the eternal victim. If their chaos begins to encroach on your peace, it may be time to reassess how much of your time and emotional energy you can afford to give. Helping them doesn't mean getting swept up in their endless cycle of crises. Instead, encourage them to take action and seek solutions rather than merely consoling them. This approach not only protects your well-being but also pushes them toward the kind of self-reliance and accountability that Stoicism values. Remember, while compassion is a virtue, it must not come at the cost of your own stability and happiness. The Stoics believed in the importance of inner peace and equanimity, and maintaining these in the face of another's perpetual chaos is both a challenge and a practice in Stoic philosophy. In doing so, you honor not only your mental and emotional health, but also foster a more balanced and healthy relationship with the eternal victim. Number 8. The toxic individual. This person is often a complex blend of many negative traits, each more damaging than the last. They might exhibit behaviors like manipulation, constant negativity, jealousy, or dishonesty. Being around them can feel like being caught in a storm, where your positive outlook and inner peace are constantly under threat. Their presence in your life can lead to feelings of doubt, insecurity, and even fear, as they seem to have a knack for souring what should be joyful experiences and turning strengths into perceived weaknesses. This person is often a complex blend of many negative traits, each more damaging than the last. They might exhibit behaviors like manipulation, constant negativity, jealousy, or dishonesty. Being around them can feel like being caught in a storm, where your positive outlook and inner peace are constantly under threat. Their presence in your life can lead to feelings of doubt, insecurity, and even fear, as they seem to have a knack for souring what should be joyful experiences and turning strengths into perceived weaknesses. Dealing with a toxic individual is challenging because their influence can seep into various aspects of your life, clouding your judgment and affecting your interactions with others. They often create an environment where you're always on the defensive, always having to shield yourself from their next negative outburst or manipulative tactic. This can be exhausting and deeply unsettling, challenging your mental and emotional stability. Epictetus offers wisdom that is particularly applicable when dealing with toxic people. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This guidance encourages us to focus on our responses rather than trying to change the toxic individual. It reminds us that our power lies in our reactions, our decisions, and our ability to maintain self-retrieve in the face of adversity. Social distancing. Implementing this Stoic approach involves setting firm boundaries with the toxic person. Clearly define what is not acceptable in their behavior towards you and be consistent in enforcing these limits. It's crucial to protect your space and peace of mind. If the toxic behavior continues despite your efforts, it may be necessary to distance yourself entirely from the individual. While this can be a difficult decision, especially if the toxic person is a close friend or family member, it's sometimes the healthiest choice you can make. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and encourage your growth. Cultivate relationships that bring positivity, mutual respect, and genuine support. By doing so, you reinforce your resilience against toxicity and foster an environment where you can thrive. Number 9. The two-faced individual. This person masters the art of duplicity, being charming and friendly to your face, but turning to slander the moment your back is turned. Their skill in wearing different masks for different audiences is disconcerting. They can make you feel like a confidant one moment, and the next, you might overhear them undermining you to others. It's a bewildering and hurtful experience to realize that someone you thought was a friend could so easily betray your trust. The two-faced individual not only strains individual relationships, but can also create a toxic environment around them. Their behavior fosters distrust, conflict, and insecurity among a group, whether it be in a workplace, a circle of friends, or within a family. Their actions are often driven by a desire for personal gain, be it power, influence, or mere amusement at causing disruption. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own virtue and integrity, and not to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Seneca advised to choose our company wisely, asserting that being alone is better than being in bad company. Stoicism also prompts us to reflect on our responses to betrayal. It's natural to feel hurt and angry when you discover someone's duplicity, but Stoics would counsel us to rise above these initial emotional reactions. They would urge us to respond with reason and dignity, maintaining our own ethical standards and not stooping to their level of deceit. In dealing with a two-faced individual, the most effective strategy is to distance yourself once their true nature is revealed. Reducing your emotional and personal investment in the relationship protects you from further harm. Moreover, it's important to cultivate relationships with people who value authenticity and transparency. Surround yourself with individuals who support and uplift you, both in your presence and in your absence. Choosing to interact with genuine people aligns with the Stoic principle of living a life of virtue. It not only fosters a healthier emotional environment, but also enables you to grow and thrive, unaffected by the underhanded tactics of those who choose duplicity over integrity. It's a harsh reality, but some people in our lives take pleasure in causing harm and chaos. Think about it. You could be sharing moments, trusting someone, only to discover they are the very source of your turmoil. Today, we dive deep into a topic that's as fascinating as it is frightening. Recognizing the signs you're dealing with an evil person. Whether it's a colleague, a friend, or even a family member, these individuals can be masters of deception, hiding their true nature behind charm and charisma. Today, we're not just exploring this dark side of human behavior out of curiosity. Understanding these signs can be life-changing. The Stoics believed in the power of perception and the importance of living a life guided by reason and virtue. By identifying and understanding these toxic traits, we can protect our peace of mind and cultivate healthier relationships, staying true to the principles of wisdom and self-control. Stay with us as we uncover 5 telltale signs of an evil person. By the end of this video, you'll not only be better equipped to spot these behaviors, but also learn practical ways to safeguard your mental health and well-being. And if you appreciate what we're doing here, A simple, free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Please don't skip any part of the video. You won't want to miss our special bonus section, where I'll share an effective strategy for setting firm boundaries with these individuals. Let's embark on this journey of self-awareness and resilience together. Number 1, charming and charismatic at first. When we talk about people who seem charming and charismatic at first, it's important to remember that appearances can be deceiving. These individuals often have a way of lighting up a room, making everyone around them feel special and valued. They know exactly what to say to make you feel like you've just made a new best friend. At first glance, they seem like the perfect person, witty, engaging, and seemingly interested in your life. It's easy to get swept up in their charm, thinking you've found someone truly special. However, the Stoics teach us to look beyond the surface and seek the truth through rational thought and observation. Over time, you might start to notice little cracks in their facade. Maybe they always need to be the center of attention, overshadowing others in social settings. They might talk over you, interrupt you, or even subtly put you down in front of others. These aren't just quirks or signs of an extroverted personality. They're red flags. The Stoics would advise us to observe these behaviors with a clear mind, unclouded by the initial excitement of their charisma. Imagine being at a party where this person is the life of the event, telling jokes and captivating the crowd. At first, it feels great to be in their orbit, but as the evening progresses, you realize they're dominating every conversation, making everything about themselves. When you try to share something about your life, they quickly redirect the topic back to them. This is where the principle of apatheia, a state of being undisturbed by external things, comes in handy. By staying emotionally balanced, you can see through their charming act and recognize the self-centered nature underneath. It's also crucial to pay attention to how they react when things don't go their way. A person who is genuinely kind and caring will handle disappointments and disagreements with grace and understanding. But someone who is merely playing a role to gain your trust might quickly become angry or defensive. They might lash out or try to manipulate the situation to regain control. According to Stoic wisdom, such reactions are clear indicators of a lack of virtuous character. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be wary of those who display signs of anger and manipulation, as these are not the traits of a rational and virtuous person. The key here is to take your time and trust your instinct. The Stoics believed in the power of observation and the importance of not rushing to judgment based on first impressions. Epictetus taught that we should carefully evaluate the character of those we allow into our inner circle. So, if someone seems too good to be true, give yourself the space to observe their actions over time. Notice how they treat others, especially when they think no one is watching. True character is revealed in how a person behaves when they aren't trying to impress anyone. Remember, not everyone who seems charming and charismatic has good intentions. Some people use their charm as a tool for manipulation. By staying grounded and mindful, you can protect yourself from being taken in by a superficial facade. Stay true to the principles of wisdom and discernment, and you'll be better equipped to navigate these complex social interactions. Another crucial sign to watch out for: a lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's what allows us to connect deeply with those around us, to offer support when it's needed, and to create meaningful relationships. However, there are individuals out there who seem to completely lack this essential human trait. They don't care about how their actions or words affect others, and this can have a devastating impact on those around them. The Stoics believed in the importance of compassion and understanding as fundamental virtues. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity and the need to consider the well-being of others as part of our own well-being. So, when we encounter someone who shows a blatant disregard for the feelings of others, it's a serious red flag. Imagine you're sharing something deeply personal with a friend, hoping for some comfort or understanding. Instead of showing any genuine concern, they brush off your feelings or even mock your vulnerability. This lack of empathy can make you feel isolated and misunderstood. It's not just about them not being there for you in tough times. It's also about them failing to share in your joy or celebrate your successes. A person who lacks empathy won't cheer for your achievements. They might even undermine them or take credit themselves. This behavior is not just limited to personal relationships. Consider a boss who pushes their employees to the brink, showing no concern for their well-being. They might demand long hours without fair compensation, ignore requests for time off, or publicly criticize employees in a way that's meant to humiliate rather than constructively guide. This creates a toxic work environment where people feel undervalued and stressed. The Stoics would advise us to maintain our inner peace and integrity in such situations, recognizing that the lack of empathy in others is a reflection of their character, not ours. Furthermore, a lack of empathy can lead to more sinister behaviors. People who cannot empathize with others may engage in actions that are outright cruel or without any sense of guilt or remorse. They might lie, cheat, or even inflict physical harm without a second thought about the pain they're causing. The Stoic philosopher Seneca emphasized the importance of kindness and justice, teaching that our actions should always reflect our inner virtue. When someone lacks empathy, they're fundamentally disconnected from these values. Lack of empathy is also evident in smaller, everyday interactions. For example, you might notice that someone constantly interrupts conversations to talk about themselves, shows little interest in what others have to say, or fails to offer help when it's clearly needed. These might seem like minor annoyances at first, but they add up to a pattern of behavior that reveals a deeper issue. The Stoics would remind us to be observant and discerning, understanding that these small signs are indicative of a person's true character. If you find yourself dealing with someone who consistently lacks empathy, it's important to set boundaries to protect your own mental and emotional health. The Stoics believed in the importance of maintaining our own well-being and not allowing the negativity of others to disturb our peace. You have the right to distance yourself from those who drain your energy and bring you down. Another major sign of an evil person is manipulation. Manipulation occurs when someone uses deceit or cunning tactics to control or influence others to get what they want. It's a subtle, often insidious behavior that can be incredibly damaging to those on the receiving end. Manipulators are skilled at twisting situations, making you question your reality and bending your will to suit their needs. This can leave you feeling confused, powerless, and unsure of your own judgments. Let's think about manipulation from a Stoic perspective. The Stoics valued clarity of thought and the ability to see things as they truly are. They taught that our perceptions should be grounded in reality and that we should remain steadfast in our principles, no matter the external pressures. When someone manipulates you, they are attempting to cloud your perception and distort reality, making it difficult for you to stay true to these Stoic ideals. The common form of manipulation is gaslighting, where the manipulator tries to make you doubt your own memory, perception, or sanity. They might deny that certain events happened, or they might twist your words and actions to make you feel at fault. For example, let's say you confront a friend about something hurtful they said. Instead of acknowledging it, they might turn the tables, accusing you of being overly sensitive or misremembering the situation. This can erode your confidence and make you reliant on the manipulator's version of reality. Manipulators are also adept at playing the victim. They might guilt-trip you into doing things you don't want to do by making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. You might have a friend who constantly complains about their problems, expecting you to drop everything to help them, yet they are never there for you in return. They might say things like, If you were really my friend, you'd do this for me, making you feel obligated to comply. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, emphasize the importance of understanding what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control others' actions or emotions, only our response to them. Consider how a manipulator might use flattery or charm to get their way. At first, this can feel great. They might shower you with compliments and make you feel special. But over time, you might notice that their praise comes with strings attached. They might compliment you when they want something from you, or when they need you to do something for them. This can make you feel like you owe them, or that you need to live up to their expectations to maintain their approval. The Stoics would remind us that true virtue and self-worth come from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. Manipulation can also take the form of isolation. A manipulative person might try to cut you off from your friends and family, making you more dependent on them. They might say things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family doesn't understand you like I do." This tactic makes it easier for them to control you because you become more reliant on them for support and validation. The Stoics believed in maintaining strong, supportive relationships with others, recognizing that we are social beings who thrive in community. Isolation goes against these principles, as it weakens our support network and makes us more vulnerable to manipulation. Financial manipulation is another tactic used by evil people. They might borrow money, never repay it, or they might control your finances to limit your independence. For instance, a partner might insist on managing all the money in the relationship, making you ask for permission to spend anything. This control over finances can make it difficult for you to leave the relationship or assert your independence. The Stoics would encourage us to seek self-sufficiency and independence, ensuring that we are not unduly influenced or controlled by others. Recognizing manipulation for what it is can be challenging, especially when you care about the person involved. The Stoics teach us to be vigilant and discerning, to see things clearly and to act with integrity. If you suspect someone is manipulating you, take a step back and assess the situation objectively. Are they consistently prioritizing their needs over yours? Do they make you feel guilty or unsure of yourself? Are they trying to control aspects of your life or isolate you from others? It's important to set firm boundaries with manipulators and stand your ground. Communicate clearly and assertively about what you will and will not tolerate. Remember, you have the right to your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control how others behave, we can control how we respond. By maintaining our inner strength and clarity, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of manipulation and stay true to our values. One of the most glaring signs of an evil person: controlling behavior. This goes beyond mere preferences or quirks. It's about someone who seeks to dominate every aspect of your life, leaving little room for your own autonomy and decisions. Controlling individuals often disguise their behavior as concern or care, but underneath, it's about power and control. The Stoics, who valued personal freedom and self-control, would see this behavior as fundamentally opposed to living a virtuous life. Controlling behavior can manifest in many ways. For instance, you might have a friend who insists on always choosing where you go and what you do together. While it might seem harmless at first, over time you start to realize that your preferences and opinions are consistently ignored or overridden. They might say things like, "I know what's best for us," or "You'll have more fun if you just listen to me." This isn't about mutual decision-making. It's about one person exerting their will over another. In relationships, controlling behavior can become even more dangerous. A partner might monitor your whereabouts, demand constant updates on your activities, and even dictate who you can and cannot see. They might go through your phone, check your messages, or insist on knowing all your passwords. This kind of surveillance and micromanagement can make you feel trapped and anxious, constantly walking on eggshells to avoid conflict. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasize the importance of maintaining your own inner freedom and autonomy, regardless of external pressures. Control can also come in the form of financial manipulation. A controlling partner or family member might take charge of all financial decisions, doling out money as they see fit, and keeping you financially dependent on them. They might say, "I handle the money because you're not good with finances." Or, "It's easier if I just take care of everything." This can strip you of your financial independence and make it difficult to leave the relationship or assert your own choices. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency and managing your own resources wisely, viewing financial control as a form of enslavement that must be resisted. Another way controlling behavior shows up is through isolation. A controlling person might try to cut you off from friends and family, claiming that they're the only one who truly understands or cares about you. They might criticize your loved ones, saying things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family is toxic." Over time, you might find yourself increasingly isolated, relying solely on the controlling person for support and companionship. The Stoics recognize the importance of community and supportive relationships, seeing isolation as detrimental to both personal growth and well-being. Controlling individuals also often use threats and intimidation to maintain their power. They might threaten to leave you, harm themselves, or even hurt you if you don't comply with their demands. This creates an environment of fear and anxiety, making it difficult to think clearly or make decisions that are best for you. The Stoics, especially Seneca, taught that we should face our fears and not allow others to intimidate us into submission. True courage and wisdom lie in standing firm against such threats and reclaiming our own power. It's important to understand that controlling behavior is about more than just wanting things done a certain way. It's about fundamentally undermining your ability to make your own choices and live your own life. The Stoics would advise us to recognize these behaviors for what they are: an attack on our autonomy and a violation of our personal freedom. By staying true to our values and maintaining our inner strength, we can resist the influence of controlling individuals and reclaim our right to live freely. If you find yourself dealing with someone who exhibits controlling behavior, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and assert your independence. Communicate clearly about your needs and limits, and don't be afraid to seek support from others who understand your situation. Remember, the Stoics teach us that we cannot control others, but we can control our own reactions and decisions. By staying grounded in our principles and valuing our own autonomy, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of controlling behavior and live more authentic, fulfilling lives. Another unmistakable sign of an evil person is pathological lying. This goes beyond the occasional white lie that most people tell. Pathological liars deceive constantly, often without any apparent reason. They fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to suit their own needs or to gain an advantage over others. This behavior can be incredibly damaging to relationships, eroding trust and creating a web of deceit that's difficult to untangle. The Stoics valued truth and integrity above all else. They believed that a virtuous life was grounded in honesty and that deceit was a fundamental betrayal of one's character. Marcus Aurelius emphasized living in accordance with nature, which means aligning our actions with truth and reason. When someone lies pathologically, they are living in direct opposition to these principles, creating a false reality that benefits only themselves. Pathological lying can take many forms. It might start with small, seemingly harmless lies, like embellishing a story to make themselves look better or more interesting. Over time, these lies can escalate, covering up mistakes or wrongdoings, and manipulating others to achieve their goals. A pathological liar might claim to have accomplished things they haven't, falsely take credit for others' work, or make up stories about their past to gain sympathy or admiration. This constant dishonesty creates a distorted view of reality where you can never be sure what's true and what's fabricated. Consider how a pathological liar might operate in a workplace. They might lie about their qualifications, exaggerate their contributions to projects, or spread false rumors about colleagues to sabotage them. This can create a toxic environment where trust is undermined and people are constantly on edge, unsure of who to believe. The Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our own integrity, not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and actions, and not be disturbed by the dishonesty of those around us. In personal relationships, pathological lying can be even more destructive. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their feelings. This behavior can make you feel insecure, anxious, and constantly questioning your own perceptions. You might find yourself doubting your memory or second-guessing your instincts, which is exactly what the liar wants. They thrive on creating confusion and instability, keeping you off balance so they can maintain control. The Stoics would remind us to trust our own judgment and not be swayed by the manipulations of others. Seneca taught that true peace comes from within, and that we should not allow the deceit of others to disturb our inner tranquility. One of the most insidious aspects of pathological lying is that it's often difficult to detect at first. Pathological liars can be incredibly convincing, telling their lies with such confidence and detail that it's hard not to believe them. They might mix truth with lies, making it even more challenging to discern what's real. This is where the Stoic principle of vigilance comes into play. We must remain observant and critical, not taking things at face value, but instead seeking the truth through careful consideration and evidence. When you catch someone in a lie, pay attention to how they react. Do they become defensive or aggressive? Do they try to turn the tables and blame you? Or do they offer a plausible explanation that seems to make sense, even if it's just another layer of deceit? A genuine person will admit to their mistakes and strive to correct them, while a pathological liar will double down on their falsehoods, weaving an even more intricate web of lies. The Stoics would counsel us to remain calm and rational in the face of such behavior, recognizing it for what it is and not allowing it to provoke us. It's also important to consider the long-term impact of pathological lying. Over time, it can erode the very foundation of trust that any relationship is built upon. Once trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. You might find yourself constantly suspicious, always wondering if you're being lied to again. This can lead to a toxic cycle of mistrust and resentment. The Stoics believed in the importance of building strong, honest relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. When dealing with a pathological liar, you must decide whether it's worth trying to rebuild that trust, or whether it's healthier to distance yourself from their toxic influence. If you find yourself entangled with a pathological liar, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and protect your own mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics would advise us to remain true to our own values and principles, not allowing ourselves to be dragged down by the deceit of others. Be clear about what you will and will not tolerate, and don't be afraid to walk away from a relationship or situation that is built on lies. Remember, your peace of mind and integrity are more important than maintaining a connection with someone who consistently deceives you. Now, how can you protect yourself from these harmful behaviors while maintaining your peace and integrity? Setting boundaries is one of the most crucial skills you can develop when dealing with difficult or toxic people. Boundaries are about defining what you will and will not accept in your relationships, and they are essential for protecting your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. The Stoics, who emphasized the importance of personal integrity and inner peace, would see boundary setting as a fundamental practice for maintaining a virtuous and tranquil life. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that setting boundaries is not about being harsh or unkind. It's about respecting yourself and ensuring that others respect you as well. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-respect and living in harmony with our true nature. By setting clear boundaries, you are not only protecting yourself, but also fostering healthier interactions with others. When it comes to setting boundaries, clarity is key. You need to be specific about what behaviors you will not tolerate and communicate this clearly and assertively. For example, if you have a friend who frequently belittles you or puts you down, you might say, "I appreciate our friendship, but I won't tolerate being spoken to in a disrespectful manner. If this continues, I will have to distance myself." This approach is direct and leaves no room for misinterpretation. According to Stoic principles, this kind of clear communication helps maintain order and respect in relationships. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is consistency. It's not enough to state your boundaries once and expect others to adhere to them without reminders. You must consistently enforce your boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasized the importance of discipline and perseverance. By consistently upholding your boundaries, you demonstrate self-respect and teach others how to treat you. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, it's a clear sign that they do not respect you or your limits, and it may be necessary to reassess the relationship. It's also important to remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time event but an ongoing process. As relationships evolve, your boundaries may need to be adjusted. For instance, in a work environment, you might need to set boundaries around your availability and workload to prevent burnout. You could say to a colleague or supervisor, "I am happy to help with this project, but I cannot take on additional tasks beyond my current responsibilities." The Stoics would advise us to balance our duties and not overextend ourselves to the detriment of our well-being. One of the most challenging aspects of setting boundaries is dealing with the pushback or resistance you might encounter. People who are used to getting their way, especially those with controlling or manipulative tendencies, may not take kindly to your newfound assertiveness. They might react with anger, guilt-tripping, or even attempts to undermine your confidence. The Stoics teach us to remain calm and steadfast in the face of such challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of maintaining our composure and not being swayed by the negative emotions of others. When you encounter resistance, stay firm and remind yourself that your boundaries are necessary for your well-being. In some cases, setting boundaries might mean making difficult decisions, such as distancing yourself from certain individuals or even ending relationships that are toxic or harmful. This can be a painful process, but it's essential for preserving your mental and emotional health. The Stoics would remind us that our primary responsibility is to our own virtue and well-being. Seneca often spoke about the importance of choosing our associations wisely, recognizing that the company we keep can significantly impact our character and happiness. By distancing yourself from those who consistently violate your boundaries, you are making a powerful statement about your self-worth and commitment to living a virtuous life. It's also helpful to seek support from others when setting boundaries. This could mean talking to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist about your experiences and getting their input and encouragement. Sharing your struggles and successes with boundary setting can provide you with valuable perspective and strengthen your resolve. The Stoics valued community and the support of like-minded individuals. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the interconnectedness of humanity and the importance of mutual support. By leaning on your support network, you can find the strength to uphold your boundaries and maintain your well-being. What makes you happy? Is it your family or your loved ones? Is it money, or is it simply peace of mind? You see, the Stoics of old, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, had a different definition of true happiness. They didn't see happiness the way the media portrays it today, or the way most people understand it. So, the question is, how can you be truly happy? Today, we are going to share with you 10 principles that can help you become genuinely happier in 2025. These principles are so powerful, so practical, that even if you choose to apply just 2 of them, they could change your life forever. So buckle up and stay attentive, because this is going to be a life-changing experience. Let our journey begin. 1. Stop doubting yourself. Start believing. Doubt is a formidable foe, often lurking in our minds like an unwelcome guest. But here's the catch. It's not about completely eradicating doubt. It's about managing it with a strong mindset. You see, even the Stoics weren't immune to self-doubt, but they knew the art of harnessing it. Take Marcus Aurelius, for instance, a man who ruled an empire yet found time to question and counsel himself. His approach wasn't about ignoring doubt, but about challenging it. He asked, "Is this thought beneficial? Does it improve or hinder my life?" This is a cue for us. When doubt creeps in, we can confront it with these questions, transforming it from an obstacle into a tool for self-reflection and growth. It's humorous in a way, how we often magnify our doubts, while the solutions are simpler than we think. Aurelius mused, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." These words aren't just poetic. They're a practical mantra. Picture this. You're about to start a new project or take up a new hobby. Doubt whispers, "You can't." Here's where you flip the script. Acknowledge the doubt, then counter it with evidence of your past successes, however small they might seem. This simple act of self-belief can be the first step toward a happier you. Remember, happiness doesn't come from the absence of doubt, but from your ability to believe in yourself despite it. 2. Reflect on your life. Have you ever paused your Netflix binge to wonder, is this it? Let's be real. Reflecting on your life doesn't mean you have to climb a mountain and meditate. It's about taking a moment, maybe while you're sipping your morning coffee, to ask yourself some serious questions. You can ask yourself questions like, what makes me get out of bed every morning? Why do I act the way I do? Now imagine your life as a movie. Would you watch it, or would you doze off before the opening credits end? Reflecting isn't about being harsh on yourself. It's about being honest. If your daily routine were a YouTube video, would you hit the like button or scroll past it? Remember, you're the director of this show. It's in your hands to make it binge-worthy. Let's talk dreams. Not the weird ones about showing up to work in your pajamas, but your real, "I want this so bad" dreams. Are they sitting on a shelf, collecting dust? It's time to dust them off and break them down into steps as simple as your morning to-do list. Think about it. If you can remember to charge your phone every night, you can definitely take small steps toward your dreams. Your life story is yours to write, so make it one you love to tell. 3. Focus on what you can control. Life's unpredictability can sometimes feel overwhelming, but there's a secret to staying serene. Focus on what you can control. Just like when you're playing a video game, you can't control the design of the levels or the behavior of other players, but you can master your moves. Similarly, in life, concentrate on your actions, thoughts, and attitudes. These are your joystick and buttons. Use them wisely. Seneca, a well-known Stoic philosopher, once found himself exiled. Most would see exile as a loss of control, but not Seneca. He turned inward, focusing on his writing and thoughts, cultivating his inner garden. This wasn't a retreat, but a strategic focus on what he could control. His writings from this period are a testament to the power of directing energy where it matters most. Some things are in our control, and others not. A quote often attributed to Epictetus encapsulates the essence of Stoicism. Epictetus himself knew the limits of his control and focused instead on his inner life, thoughts, and responses. In embracing this philosophy, we too can become not just happier, but also more content and resilient. just as he was amidst life's chaos. Remember, it's not about controlling the storm, but about learning to dance in the rain. 4. Be kind to others. There is a famous saying, you get what you give. Imagine throwing a pebble into a lake. The ripples it creates spread far and wide, reaching places the pebble never could. That's the power of doing good for others. Every small act of kindness, whether it's holding the door for someone or sharing a smile, creates ripples in the world around us. It's not about grand gestures, it's the everyday kindness that truly counts. By making someone else's day a little brighter, we inadvertently light up our own. Now here's the catch. The good you do often finds its way back to you, but not always in the way you expect. It's like throwing a boomerang of kindness. It will return, sometimes in the form of a thankful smile, other times as a helping hand when you least expect it. This isn't about keeping score, but rather understanding that our actions contribute to a kinder, more compassionate world. In this world, happiness finds fertile ground to grow. Seneca, who understood the power of benevolence, once said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Seneca didn't just preach positivity, he practiced generosity and kindness, often advising and helping others without expecting anything in return. His life teaches us that true happiness doesn't come from what we acquire, but from what we give. Let's walk into 2025 with open hearts, ready to spread kindness. After all, a good deed is a step toward a happier life. 5. Do less better. Ever tried juggling? Start with too many balls and they all end up on the floor. Life's a bit like that. Trying to do everything often leads to achieving little. The key lies in doing less, but doing it better. It's not about the quantity of tasks, but the quality of your engagement. Choose a few things that truly matter to you and give them your all. This focused approach not only enhances your skills, but also brings a deeper sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. Simplifying life isn't about having less, it's about having more of what counts. Trim down your to-do list to the essentials, like a sculptor chiseling away the excess to reveal a beautiful statue. Remove the unnecessary from your life to uncover your true priorities. This clarity leads to action, and action leads to happiness. By focusing on fewer things, you can channel your energy more effectively, making each effort count. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Concentrate every minute, like a Roman, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, and with justice." He was not just a ruler of an empire, but also a ruler of his time and focus. He prioritized, deliberated, and acted with intention. In our pursuit of happiness, let's remember his wisdom. By focusing on doing less but doing it better, we open ourselves to a world of excellence and contentment. Let's narrow our gaze to broaden our impact. 6. Be grateful. Let's take a moment and think about gratitude. You know, it's like finding a $5 bill in your old jacket. It was always there, but the moment you find it, your day gets a little brighter. That's what gratitude does to life. It's about appreciating the small things. A warm cup of coffee, a text from a friend, the sunset. When you start noticing and being thankful for these moments, life suddenly becomes richer. It's not about waiting for big things to happen. It's about finding joy in the ordinary. Now, how do you make gratitude a habit? It's actually simple. You could keep a gratitude journal. Each night, jot down something you were grateful for that day. It could be as simple as enjoying a quiet moment, or as big as achieving a personal goal. This practice shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present in your life. And trust me, the more you look for things to be grateful for, the more you find them. Epictetus once remarked, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This man found richness in his simple, constrained life by focusing on what he had, not what he lacked. His message to us in 2025, let's embrace gratitude. By recognizing and cherishing the abundance in our lives, we open doors to happiness and contentment. Remember, it's not happiness that brings gratitude, but gratitude that brings happiness. 7. Stop seeking external approval. The quest for external approval. It's like chasing a shadow that always eludes us. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy surprisingly relevant in our lives, teaches us a powerful lesson here. First off, let's get real, everyone. At some point, craves a thumbs up from others. But here's the twist. Stoicism nudges us to flip the script. It's about looking inward for validation, not outward. Imagine your self-worth as a fortress. Why let someone else hold the keys? Now, onto the practical stuff. How do you actually stop this approval-seeking mission? Start by recognizing your own achievements, no matter how small. Did you make your bed this morning? That's a win. Take a moment to appreciate these tiny victories. They add up. Trust me, it's like building a mental muscle in your mind, and between the day where you lost and the day where you achieved it, you can build new tissues. You want to be better than you were yesterday? Refocus on that goal. Trust me, it's like building a mental muscle to push forward and build mental habits to make you the best version of yourself. One where you're both the coach and the cheerleader. And when you feel the urge to fish for compliments or likes on social media, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for the gram? Here's a little secret. Your opinion is the one that truly matters. Every day try to do something that makes you proud. Not for the applause, but for your own sense of achievement. It's about rewiring our brains to seek internal rather than external validation. Think of it as mental decluttering, less focus on others' opinions, more space for your own growth. It's not about becoming indifferent to others, but about being true to yourself. This shift in mindset is not just liberating, it's empowering. 8. Challenge yourself. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. It's steep, challenging, and at times you wonder why you even started. But here's the thing. Every step up that mountain makes you stronger and more resilient. Stoicism, a philosophy as old as the hills yet as fresh as tomorrow's sunrise, tells us that life's true fulfillment comes from overcoming challenges, not avoiding them. So in 2025, let's turn our daily grind into our personal Everest. Now, you might be thinking, easier said than done, right? Well, it isn't about transforming overnight. It's about small, steady changes. Start by setting a goal that pushes your limits yet is achievable. It could be learning a new skill, improving your fitness, or even just reading a book a month. The key isn't the goal itself, but the growth that comes from reaching for it. Each small victory is a step up your mountain. Do remember, climbing a mountain isn't a solo journey. Share your challenges and your victories with others. Stoicism teaches us the power of community and support. By sharing your journey, you not only gain allies, but also inspire others to start their own climbs. So, as we step into 2025, let's challenge ourselves, support each other, and enjoy the view from our personal summits. Happy climbing. 9. Laugh more. Laughing more isn't just a cheerful suggestion. It's a cornerstone of a contented life. Echoing the wisdom of the ancient Stoics, take Chrysippus, a Stoic philosopher who reportedly died of laughter. While that's an extreme example, it underscores a profound truth. Laughter is serious business. It's a tool that lightens our burdens and brings perspective to our challenges. Just imagine for a moment the absurdity of life's little dramas seen through a lens of humor. Your coffee spills, and instead of frustration, there's a chuckle about the universe's quirky timing. That's the principles in action, reminding us that not everything deserves a furrowed brow. Now, how do you fit more laughter into the puzzle of modern life? It's simpler than you might think. Start by seeking the lighthearted side of daily situations. Traffic jam? It's a chance to play your favorite comedy podcast. Tough day at work? Swap stories with friends about who had the most bizarre encounter. This isn't about ignoring life's complexities. It's about choosing a joyful perspective. It's a practical Stoic approach. Control what you can, your outlook and reaction, and let go of what you can't. Laughter is a shared melody. It connects us, making our collective journey a bit brighter. So, next time you find something amusing, share it. Be that person who brings a smile to others. Your laughter becomes a ripple, touching lives in ways you might never see. That's the essence of Stoicism, finding harmony within and spreading it outward. It's not just about enduring life, but embracing it joyously. So go ahead, laugh a bit more. It's not just good for the soul, it's wisdom echoing through the ages. 10. Love your fate. Love your fate. It sounds like a tall order, right? Yet, this is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism intersects with our fast-paced, tech-savvy world. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or enduring pain with a stiff upper lip. It's about embracing whatever life throws at you with a positive spirit. Think of it like surfing. Waves will come, big and small, but it's your skill in riding them that counts, not the size of the wave. So how do you love your fate in a world where your fate can include anything from a missed Uber to a critical email disappearing into the digital abyss? Start by reframing your mindset. When something doesn't go your way, see it as an opportunity to grow. Miss that Uber? It's a chance to take a brisk walk and enjoy some fresh air. Email vanish, time to improve your tech skills. It's not about being blindly optimistic, but about finding the silver lining in every cloud. This approach is not just about making the best of a bad situation, it's about transforming challenges into stepping stones. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely noted, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the very obstacles you face can pave your path to success. Next time your Wi-Fi acts up during an important call, instead of fuming, take a moment to appreciate the unplugged world. Maybe strike up a conversation with someone nearby, or jot down those creative ideas you've been postponing. In essence, loving your fate is about embracing life's unpredictable nature with agility and grace. It's choosing to dance in the rain instead of waiting for the storm to pass. Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. This is one of the many wise quotes from ancient philosophy, which teaches us how to live a virtuous and happy life in a chaotic and uncertain world. But how can we apply this to our daily lives? One of the best ways to do that is to develop some nightly habits that will help us reflect on our actions, learn from our mistakes, and prepare for the next day. In this video, I will share with you 7 simple but powerful nightly habits that will make you more resilient, calm, and focused. But before we get into that, I challenge you to not be weak, but rather to be resilient and focused by staying with me till the end of the video. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Habit 1. Review your day. Every night, before you close your eyes, you have a golden opportunity to become a better version of yourself. You have the chance to look back at your day and see how you have lived, how you have acted, and how you have grown. This is not a time to judge yourself harshly or dwell on your failures. This is a time to learn from your experiences and celebrate your successes. This is a time to practice the first habit, review your day. This habit was taught by Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers who ever lived. He wrote, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, aware of this habit that's now mine, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." Seneca knew that by reviewing his day, he could evaluate his actions and thoughts and see how well he had followed the principles of wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. He could also cultivate gratitude for the things that went well, and forgiveness for himself and others for the things that went wrong. By doing this, he could improve his character, his happiness, and his impact on the world. And so can you. All you need to do is ask yourself some simple questions every night, like, what did I do well today? What did I do poorly today? What did I learn today? How can I improve tomorrow? These questions will help you identify your strengths and weaknesses, your achievements and mistakes, your lessons and opportunities. They will help you appreciate what you have and aspire for what you want. They will help you become more aware of yourself and more aligned with your values. They will help you become more resilient, calm, and focused. But don't just ask these questions. Write them down. Writing them down will make them more concrete, more memorable, and more actionable. Writing them down will also create a record of your progress, your challenges, and your growth. Habit 2. Meditate on your mortality. Every night, before you drift into sleep, you have a rare opportunity to awaken your soul and ignite your passion. You have the chance to face the ultimate reality of life, death. This habit may sound scary, but it is actually liberating. It is a habit that was embraced by the ancient Stoics, who were fearless and wise. They knew that death is inevitable and unpredictable, and that we should not fear it or avoid it, but rather face it with courage and dignity. They also knew that death can be a source of motivation and inspiration, as it reminds us that our time is limited and precious, and that we should not waste it on trivial things. One of the ways to meditate on your mortality is to use a technique called memento mori, which means remember that you will die. You can do this by imagining that this is your last night on Earth and asking yourself some powerful questions. How would I feel about my life if I knew I was going to die tomorrow? What would I regret not doing or saying? What would I be proud of or grateful for? These questions will help you put things into perspective, prioritize what matters most, and live each day as if it were your last. They will help you appreciate what you have and pursue what you want. They will help you express your love and fulfill your purpose. They will help you become more resilient, calm, and focused. But don't just ask these questions. Feel them. Feel them in your heart, in your gut, in your bones. Feel them as if they were true, as if this was really your last night on Earth. Feel the emotions that arise, the sadness, the joy, the fear, the gratitude. By feeling these emotions every night, you will create a powerful habit that will transform your life. Meditate on your mortality and make every day count. Habit 3. Detach from external things. This means that you should not let your joy or sorrow depend on things that are beyond your power, such as wealth, fame, honor, or other people's judgments. The Stoics knew that the only thing we can master is our own mind and will, and that everything else is subject to fate and fortune. They also knew that external things are not good or evil in themselves, but only in relation to how we view them and respond to them. One of the ways to rise above the world is to use a technique called negative visualization, which means envisioning the worst-case scenario. You can do this by imagining that you have lost or never had some of the things you value or desire, and then asking yourself, how would I endure if this happened? How would I find joy without this? How would I grow from this? By doing this habit, you will be able to weaken your attachment and fear, increase your appreciation and satisfaction, and ready yourself for any possible outcome. So do not be enslaved by the world. Be free from it. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. If you have made it to this point in the video, you are truly strong, and I know you will make it till the end. Habit 4. Focus on your purpose. This is not a vague or trivial matter, but a vital and noble one. You have a destiny to fulfill, a mission to accomplish, and a legacy to leave behind. You have a spark of divinity within you, and you must fan it into a flame that illuminates the world. The Stoics understood that we are not here by chance, but by providence. We are part of a cosmic order, and we have a duty to uphold it. We are not mere spectators, but active participants. We are not isolated individuals, but interconnected beings. We are not passive consumers, but creative contributors. To focus on your purpose, you must practice prosouche, or attention. This is the art of being mindful and aware of your thoughts, words, and deeds. You must constantly ask yourself questions like, What is my purpose in life? What is the most excellent way to pursue it? What is the most urgent thing to do right now? By doing this habit, you will sharpen your vision, align your actions, and prioritize your tasks. You will not waste time on distractions, but invest it in essentials. You will not drift aimlessly, but move purposefully. Habit 5. Practice self-discipline. What if I told you that you have the power to shape your destiny, overcome any obstacle, and achieve any goal? This is the truth that the ancient Stoics knew and practiced. They knew that the key to living a good life is to practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses and emotions and to act according to reason and virtue. It's the ability to choose what is right over what is easy, what is noble over what is base, and what is lasting over what is fleeting. It's the ability to avoid excesses and vices and to cultivate moderation and virtues. It's the ability to challenge yourself to do something difficult or uncomfortable every day, such as waking up early, exercising, eating healthy, or helping others. By doing this, you will be able to strengthen your willpower, overcome your weaknesses, and improve your skills. You will be able to face any situation with courage, wisdom, and calmness. This habit has the power to transform your life, turning you into a master of yourself and your own story. Make it your nightly habit. Make it your way of life. Habit 6. Relax and sleep well. You've made it to the last habit, and it's a simple one. But don't let its simplicity fool you. This habit is crucial for your well-being, and it can make or break your success. The Stoics knew that relaxation and sleep are not luxuries but necessities. They are not distractions but investments. They are not indulgences but rewards. They understood that relaxation and sleep are the best ways to recharge your batteries, restore your balance, and renew your strength. They also knew how to relax and sleep well using a powerful technique called ataraxia, which means tranquility. You can practice ataraxia by breathing deeply and slowly, letting go of any tension or stress, stretching your body and releasing any stiffness or pain, meditating on your purpose or your values, praying to your higher power or your inner wisdom. By doing this habit, you will be able to relax your mind, relax your body, and sleep like a baby. And when you wake up, you will be ready to face the day with confidence, courage, and clarity. In a world that often seems ruled by chaos and noise, there lies a powerful secret known by the ancient Stoics that can transform the way you experience life. It's not found in the clamor of the crowd, nor is it hidden in the relentless chase for fleeting pleasures. This secret is the art of mastering your own mind, a path to tranquility and strength that Stoicism teaches with elegant simplicity. Today, we're diving deep into this profound philosophy to uncover how the Stoic way of life can offer you not just peace, but also a clarity and resilience that stands unshaken, even in life's storms. Join me as we explore how to harness these timeless truths to steer through our modern world with the wisdom of the Stoics guiding every step. Whether you're battling daily stresses or seeking a deeper sense of fulfillment, understanding how to control your mind the Stoic way isn't just about coping with life, it's about thriving in it. If you appreciate what we're diving into here, a simple free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. And trust me, you won't want to skip any part of this journey we're on together today. One of the most liberating teachings of Stoicism hinges on a simple yet profound idea. The only thing truly within our control is ourselves, our reactions, our emotions, and our thoughts. This principle encourages us to detach from the heavy weight of others' opinions. In our journey today, we delve into why letting go of what others think isn't just freeing, it's a strategic move towards mastering your own mind. Think about it. How often have you changed a decision, hesitated on a new venture, or even altered your appearance based on what you thought others might say or think? It's a common trap, one that can lead to a life driven by external validation rather than internal conviction. Stoicism teaches us to shift this focus, By anchoring our actions and thoughts in our own values, we strengthen our mental fortitude against the chaos of external judgments. Let's consider Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, who famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His words are a call to focus on our own mental responses, rather than trying to control the uncontrollable. This doesn't mean we become indifferent to others, but rather that we prioritize our own judgment and peace of mind above external approval. This philosophy doesn't ask us to disregard feedback completely. Instead, it empowers us to choose which pieces of feedback are constructive and aligned with our deeper goals, and which are merely distractions. It's about cultivating a garden within, where the seeds of your thoughts are nurtured by your own values and convictions, not trampled by the judgments of others. Imagine the freedom of making choices without fearing criticism or seeking approval. You begin to live more authentically, guided by what truly matters to you. As you practice this Stoic approach, you'll find that not only does your dependence on external validation wane, but your confidence and inner peace swell. This isn't just about toughening up in the traditional sense. It's about cultivating an inner landscape where your emotions serve you rather than control you. This is where Stoicism offers invaluable insights. The Stoics didn't teach suppression of emotion, but rather the understanding and managing of emotions to enhance well-being and personal growth. Consider the Stoic practice of viewing obstacles as opportunities, a method championed by the philosopher Seneca. He argued that every challenge or hardship was a chance to practice virtues such as patience, courage, and temperance. By reframing our struggles as opportunities to develop strength, we transform our emotional response to them. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by adversity, we can approach it with a sense of purpose and use it as a stepping stone toward greater resilience. Another key aspect of cultivating emotional resilience is maintaining a perspective that aligns with reality. Epictetus taught that our distress comes not from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. By adjusting our judgments and expectations to be more in line with reality, we reduce unnecessary suffering. For instance, if we accept that we can't control the actions of others, but can control our reactions, we're less likely to be upset by someone else's behavior. Emotional resilience also involves understanding that emotions themselves are not commands. Just because we feel angry, hurt, or anxious doesn't mean we are compelled to act on those feelings. This distance between feeling and action is critical. It gives us the time to choose our response. The Stoics called this the space in which we can exercise our reason and freedom. To enhance your emotional resilience, start by incorporating daily reflections. End each day by asking yourself, what went well? What challenges did I face? How did I respond? This practice of self-reflection reinforces your ability to apply Stoic principles in everyday life, gradually building your resilience. Now think about how you can apply them, not just in moments of crisis, but as part of your daily routine. Emotional resilience isn't built overnight, but with consistent practice and a Stoic mindset, you'll find yourself more prepared to handle whatever life throws your way, not just surviving your experiences, but thriving through them. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the profound recognition that while we can't control what happens to us, we can control how we perceive and react to these events. This is the true power of perception. Realizing that our reactions are molded not by the events themselves, but by the interpretations we attach to them. Imagine this: you're stuck in traffic and running late for an important meeting. You can perceive this situation as a disaster, a narrative that might lead to anger and frustration. Alternatively, you could see it as an opportunity to listen to a favorite podcast or audiobook, thus reclaiming the time and transforming a frustrating experience into an enjoyable one. The Stoic practice of perception management is about choosing the latter approach, actively deciding to view circumstances in a way that aligns with inner peace and wisdom. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This encapsulates the essence of Stoic thought on perception. It's a reminder that our peace of mind comes not from the events in our lives, but from our responses to them. By training ourselves to adopt more helpful perspectives, we gain a significant measure of control over our emotional well-being. Cultivating this skill begins with mindfulness and self-awareness. It involves observing our automatic thoughts and questioning their accuracy. Does this thought reflect reality? Is there another way to view the situation? This practice of questioning and reframing is a form of cognitive restructuring that can dramatically alter our emotional landscape. To integrate this into your daily life, start by identifying situations where your initial reaction might not be the most constructive. Experiment with reframing your thoughts to see the situation in a new light. This could be as simple as interpreting a critique at work not as an attack on your abilities, but as valuable feedback that can spur personal and professional growth. The power of perception is not about deceiving ourselves or ignoring reality. It's about adjusting our lens so that we can see life more clearly and respond to it in ways that align with our deepest values. By practicing this Stoic technique, you not only enhance your own resilience, but also your capacity for happiness and fulfillment. It's a transformative process, turning everyday challenges into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. This doesn't merely mean taking more hikes or planting a garden, though those are fantastic ways to connect with nature. It's deeper. It's about recognizing and adhering to the natural laws of human behavior and the universe. The Stoics believed that every part of the cosmos, including humans, has a role to play, a purpose dictated by nature itself. For us, this means living a life of virtue in accordance with reason, which the Stoics considered the highest function of our nature. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about nature's interconnectedness in his personal writings. He saw each individual's actions as part of a larger symphony of the universe, where going against this natural order causes discord and unhappiness. In practical terms, living according to nature involves several key behaviors. First, it encourages the practice of self-reflection, to understand our place within the larger context of the world. This reflection leads to a profound understanding of what is within our control and what is not, helping us to live more harmoniously with the inevitable. For example, accepting that we cannot control other people's actions or the outcome of many situations, but we can control our reactions to them. Moreover, this Stoic principle teaches us to embrace simplicity and to find satisfaction in it. This could mean reducing our desires to align more closely with what is naturally necessary and sufficient for happiness. It asks us to question, are our pursuits and desires in line with our true nature, or are they artificially constructed by societal pressures? To cultivate a life according to nature, start small. Reflect each day on where you might be resisting natural flows in your life or where you might be forcing outcomes. Try to align more closely with the rhythm of your environment. Wake with the sun, eat seasonally, and listen more deeply to your body's needs and the needs of others around you. This approach isn't about relinquishing ambition or desire, but about harmonizing those drives with the natural order, ensuring they arise from true necessity and virtue rather than fleeting whims. Let's remember that to live according to nature is to embrace a life of harmony, simplicity, and virtue. It's about making peace with the world as it is, not as we wish it to be, and finding our unique and rightful place within it. As you move through your day, consider this Stoic wisdom and observe how it might transform your understanding of happiness and your place in the world. This is far more than just a method to control our urges or stick to a routine. It is about aligning our daily actions with our deeper values and virtues. Stoics believe that self-discipline isn't merely about personal gain, but about cultivating a life that is in harmony with reason and moral purpose. Seneca often discussed how self-discipline, or self-control, is essential to living a good life. He suggested that without it, we are slaves to our passions rather than rulers of our own minds. Imagine the power and freedom that come from being in complete control of your actions and decisions, no matter what temptations or immediate gratifications present themselves. This is the heart of Stoic self-discipline. In practice, self-discipline means making choices that reflect your values, even when they aren't the easiest or most immediately gratifying options available. For example, choosing to save money instead of spending it impulsively aligns with a value of financial security and independence. Similarly, deciding to wake up early to meditate or exercise before a busy day demonstrates a commitment to health and mindfulness, prioritizing long-term well-being over extra sleep. Moreover, the Stoics didn't see self-discipline as a solitary pursuit, but as something that benefited the community. By controlling our impulses and making reasoned decisions, we contribute to a more rational, calm, and considerate society. Each personal choice impacts those around us, whether we're aware of it or not. To incorporate more self-discipline into your life, start by identifying areas where your actions don't align with your values. Perhaps you value health but often skip workouts, or you value learning but watch too much uneducative TV. Once identified, set small, manageable goals to begin reshaping your habits. It could be as simple as reading for 30 minutes before bed instead of scrolling through your phone, or preparing a healthy meal instead of ordering takeout. Self-discipline in Stoicism is not about punishing oneself or living a life of denial, but about making reasoned choices that lead to true freedom and happiness. It's about being in control of your actions, and by extension, your life's direction. As you practice self-discipline, observe how it changes not just what you do, but how you feel about yourself and your place in the world. Remember, in the Stoic view, self-discipline is a form of self-respect. Every day that you live according to your principles, you honor yourself and the community to which you belong. It's about making consistent choices that build a resilient, fulfilling life, not just for yourself, but for all. The Stoics taught that the present is all we truly own, and mastering our focus on the now can lead to profound tranquility and effectiveness. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of concentrating on the present task with full attention, a practice he described as doing one thing at a time and resting in the simplicity of his actions. Imagine if, instead of multitasking frantically, you chose to do each task sequentially with full dedication. This focus not only increases productivity, but also imbues each moment with quality and purpose. Living in the present also means accepting each moment as it comes, without imposing our judgments or wishes on it. When we stop fighting reality, stop wishing for things to be different, and start responding to the actual demands of the now, we engage with life on a more genuine level. This doesn't mean passivity or resignation. It's an active acknowledgement that the only time we can truly influence is the present. To cultivate this skill, begin by noticing when your mind wanders into the past or future. Gently remind yourself to come back to the present. Practices like mindfulness meditation can be incredibly helpful in developing this skill. Just sitting quietly for a few minutes each day, observing your breath and watching thoughts come and go without attachment, can significantly increase your ability to stay centered in the current moment. Another practical tip is to engage fully with whatever you're doing. If you're eating, just eat. If you're walking, just walk. Fully immerse yourself in the sensations and activities of the present moment. This practice can transform mundane tasks into moments of deep life experience and joy. By embracing the present, you align yourself more closely with Stoic principles, enhancing your capacity to respond to life with equanimity and poise. Over time, this practice not only improves your mental well-being, but also deepens your relationships and your engagement with life, making each day richer and more fulfilling. Remember, life is a series of present moments. How we live each moment largely determines how we live our lives. One of the more profound but often overlooked aspects of Stoicism involves the concept of community. Marcus Aurelius himself saw humans as inherently social creatures, meant to live not in isolation, but in harmonious interaction with others. This idea underscores the Stoic belief that building or joining a community is not just a personal choice, but a moral imperative. Stoicism teaches that each person has something valuable to contribute to the collective, and in return, the community offers support, wisdom, and perspective that one cannot find when alone. Imagine the strength and resilience of a network where each individual acts with virtue and reason. Such a group could significantly amplify the positive impact on each member's life. In practical terms, actively participating in a community can mean various things. It might be as simple as joining a local group that shares your interests, or volunteering for causes that align with your values. In today's digital age, community can also extend to online forums and social media platforms, where Stoic principles are discussed and life challenges are navigated collectively. Participating in these communities allows for the exchange of ideas and provides a support system that can be crucial during tough times. It's about giving and receiving advice, sharing resources, or simply providing an empathetic ear. Every interaction offers a chance to practice Stoic virtues such as kindness, understanding, and patience. Furthermore, engaging in community life enhances our sense of belonging and purpose. It reinforces the Stoic idea that we are part of something larger than ourselves, which can be incredibly fulfilling. This doesn't mean losing your individuality. On the contrary, it's about expressing your unique virtues in ways that benefit others. To start building this aspect of your Stoic practice, look for communities that resonate with your interests. Attend local or virtual meetups, participate in community service, or start a discussion group about Stoicism and its application in modern life. Each step you take toward being part of a community not only enriches your life, but also strengthens the collective fabric, embodying the true Stoic spirit of living harmoniously within the human cosmopolis. Imagine facing life's toughest challenges, loss, pain, uncertainty, and still finding a way to rise above it all, not just surviving, but thriving. This isn't just about ancient history or forgotten philosophies, it's about something that can change your life today. I'm talking about Stoicism, a philosophy that has the power to transform your struggles into strengths and your fears into courage. It's not a magic pill, but a way of living that can help you navigate the chaos of modern life with grace and wisdom. Think about it. In a world that's constantly trying to push you towards endless desires and immediate gratifications, what if I told you that the key to true happiness lies in embracing simplicity, practicing gratitude, and focusing on what's within your control? This is not just another self-help gimmick. It's a time-tested, battle-hardened philosophy that great leaders, thinkers, and even emperors have used to lead meaningful lives. So, if you've ever felt lost, overwhelmed, or just plain curious about how to live a good life, stick around. Let's dive deep into the heart of Stoicism and uncover the secrets to a fulfilling life. Secrets that Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus left for us to find. Trust me, this journey could be the turning point you've been searching for. The only thing I ask of you is not to skip this video in any way. If you're here, consider yourself different from the majority. Consider yourself an exception. Now, act like one and don't skip any part of the content. Number 1, take it step by step. In life, it's easy to get caught up in the cycle of planning, dreaming, and contemplating our next big move. We often find ourselves waiting for the perfect moment to start that project, to make that change, or to pursue that dream. However, Marcus Aurelius brings us back to a fundamental truth with profound simplicity. Knowing isn't enough. We must act. When times are tough, we must act. This isn't just about having intentions or making plans. It's about taking concrete steps towards realizing those plans. Procrastination is the enemy of progress. This idea of taking action, of moving step by step towards our goals, is at the heart of Stoicism. The Stoics believed in living according to nature, which includes embracing our nature as beings who can think, plan, and, most importantly, do. Marcus Aurelius himself was not just a philosopher, he was an emperor, a ruler who had to make decisions and take actions that would affect millions. His words come from a place of experience, reminding us that the path to fulfilling our potential is paved with actions, not just thoughts. But how do we overcome the inertia that holds us back? How do we move from dreaming to doing? The Stoic discipline of action offers a guide. Start small, but start today. This principle is echoed in the teachings of other great philosophers and psychologists. Aristotle famously said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." This speaks to the power of taking small, consistent steps towards our goals. It's not the grand gestures that define our character or our lives, but the small daily actions we take. Plato, through his dialogues, taught us about the importance of aligning our actions with our values and ideals. He believed that true knowledge leads to right action. This aligns with the Stoic emphasis on living according to virtue and reason. By taking steps that are in harmony with our highest ideals, we move closer to the good life that Plato envisioned. Taking it step by step, as Marcus Aurelius advises, is about embracing the journey of growth and self-improvement with patience and persistence. It's about recognizing that every big journey does indeed begin with a single step. Whether it's improving our health, writing a book, or working towards a better world, the key is to start and then to keep going, one step at a time. Number 2, another path is always open. Have you ever hit a wall feeling like every direction you turn leads nowhere? It's a common experience, one that can leave us feeling frustrated, hopeless, and stuck. But what if I told you that this feeling, as universal as it is, can be transformed into something positive? This is where the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius shines a light on a powerful truth. When one door closes, another opens. Marcus Aurelius, along with other Stoic thinkers like Seneca and Epictetus, taught that life is full of obstacles. But these obstacles are not the end of the road. Instead, they are opportunities for growth, redirection, and the discovery of new paths. Stoicism, at its core, is about understanding that we might not have control over the events that happen to us, but we always have control over how we respond to those events. This Stoic principle is a game changer because it challenges us to shift our perspective from seeing obstacles as dead ends to viewing them as redirections. It's about embracing the idea that there's always another way, another path that we can take. This doesn't mean that the alternative path will be easy or straightforward. Sometimes it might require us to dig deep, to be creative, or to develop skills and strengths we didn't know we had. Let's consider the wisdom of other great minds in Western philosophy and psychology. Aristotle once said, "The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance." This idea resonates with the Stoic view of obstacles. It's not the external obstacle that defines our experience, but the significance we assign to it and the actions we take in response. Socrates, with his method of questioning, reminds us to interrogate our own beliefs about the obstacles we face. By questioning our assumptions, we can uncover new paths and solutions that were hidden by our initial reactions and emotions. This Stoic lesson, that another path is always open, is about more than just overcoming difficulties. It's about recognizing that life's challenges are an integral part of our journey. They shape us, test us, and ultimately lead us to our fullest potential. It's a reminder that we are always at choice, not in what happens to us, but in how we respond to what happens. Number 3, put people first. In a world that often measures success by what you have, rather than what you give, Marcus Aurelius stands as a towering example of true leadership. Imagine being the most powerful man in the known world, where every luxury, every pleasure could easily be yours without a second thought. Yet, when faced with one of the most devastating crises of his time, a pandemic that threatened to wipe out a significant portion of his empire, Marcus chose a path that was radically different from what we might expect from someone of his stature. Instead of isolating himself in the comfort of his palace, surrounded by wealth and luxury, he took a step that was both bold and humbling. He began to sell off his own possessions, treasures that were not just valuable, but also symbols of imperial power and divine status. This wasn't a mere gesture. It was a lifeline thrown to a society struggling to survive, a society that looked up to him not just for leadership, but for compassion and hope. This act of selflessness is a vivid illustration of Stoicism in action. Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, was not just a theoretical guide for Marcus. It was a way of life. By prioritizing the welfare of his people over his own comfort, Marcus embodied the Stoic ideal that true wealth is not found in personal possessions, but in living a life of virtue and service to others. But Marcus Aurelius wasn't the only philosopher to espouse these values. Consider Aristotle, who believed that the essence of true happiness lies in living a life of virtuous activity in accordance with reason. He argued that real fulfillment comes from contributing to the community and living a life that transcends personal pleasure or material gain. Similarly, Plato emphasized the importance of the philosopher king, a ruler who, guided by wisdom and justice, puts the needs of the state and its citizens above his own desires. When we put people first, especially in times of crisis, we do more than just provide material support. We offer hope, solidarity, and a sense of shared humanity. This is the essence of leadership that Marcus Aurelius exemplifies, a leadership not rooted in authority or fear, but in empathy, sacrifice, and a profound commitment to the common good. Number 4, discard your anxiety. In the still moments of life, when the hustle and bustle fade into the background, we're often left with our thoughts, feelings, and for many of us, our anxieties. It's in these moments that Marcus Aurelius made a profound realization. Anxiety comes not from the world around us, but from within. This insight is not just a personal epiphany, but a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, teaching us that true peace comes from within, and that, to a large extent, anxiety is a choice. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what is within our control. The Stoics believe that while we might not have power over external events, we have control over our thoughts, perceptions, and reactions. This perspective empowers us to discard unnecessary worries and to cultivate a state of inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. But how can we practically apply this teaching in our lives? How do we discard anxiety and find true freedom? First, it's important to recognize that anxiety often stems from our desire to control the uncontrollable, from worrying about the future to stressing over how others perceive us. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that these concerns lie outside our sphere of control, and therefore should not occupy our minds or disturb our peace. Plato emphasized the importance of knowing oneself, suggesting that true knowledge leads to self-mastery. By understanding our thoughts and emotions, we can identify the root causes of our anxiety and address them with reason and clarity. Socrates championed the examined life, arguing that unreflective living is not worth living. By examining our anxieties, we can challenge their validity and transform our relationship with them. The process of discarding anxiety, as the Stoics teach, involves a shift in perspective. It requires us to let go of our attachment to things beyond our control and to focus instead on our responses. This doesn't mean ignoring our emotions or denying our feelings, but rather observing them with detachment and choosing not to let them dictate our peace. Number 5, well begun is half done. Starting the day on the right foot can set the tone for everything that follows. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Despite his immense responsibilities and the power he wielded, Marcus committed himself to routines that grounded him and prepared him for the day ahead. He didn't wake up early out of necessity, but out of a desire to start his day with purpose. He used journaling not just as a means of reflection, but as a tool to align his actions and thoughts with his values. This disciplined approach to mornings wasn't about rigid schedules. It was about ensuring that each day began with intentionality. The principle of well begun is half done is a testament to the importance of starting our tasks, our projects, and indeed our days in a manner that sets us up for success. It's a principle that transcends time, finding echoes in the wisdom of many other philosophers and psychologists throughout history. Aristotle once highlighted the significance of habits in shaping our character and our lives. He believed that excellence was not an act, but a habit. By beginning our day with routines that reflect our commitment to excellence, we cultivate the habits that lead to a virtuous and fulfilling life. It's not the grand gestures that define us, but the small, consistent actions we take every day. Plato taught us about the world of forms, where the ideal version of everything exists. While we might not reach that ideal, the act of striving towards it is what brings out the best in us. Starting our day with a clear intention is akin to orienting ourselves towards our own ideal form. striving each day to be the best version of ourselves. By embracing the day with intention, we take control of our lives. We set a positive tone that influences everything we do. We remind ourselves of what's truly important and ensure that our actions throughout the day reflect our highest priorities and values. Number 6. Don't resent people. In the intricate tapestry of human relationships, encountering difficult people is inevitable. It's a universal challenge that can test our patience, disrupt our peace, and sometimes provoke resentment. However, Marcus Aurelius offers a transformative perspective on this challenge. He didn't see difficult people as mere obstacles, but as opportunities to cultivate and practice Stoic virtues such as patience, kindness, and understanding. This approach isn't just about managing external relationships. It's about an internal journey towards personal growth and self-mastery. Stoicism teaches us that our reactions to external events, including our interactions with others, are within our control. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that the actions of others should not disturb our inner peace or dictate our emotional state. Instead, encountering difficult people should be viewed as a chance to strengthen our character, practice the virtues that Stoicism holds dear, and rise above petty grievances or annoyances. This doesn't mean condoning negative behavior or allowing ourselves to be mistreated. It means choosing a response that aligns with our values and our commitment to personal excellence. Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow self, suggesting that the traits we dislike in others often reflect parts of ourselves that we haven't fully accepted. By recognizing this projection, we can turn encounters with difficult people into moments of self-reflection and growth, learning to embrace the full spectrum of our humanity. Marcus Aurelius's approach to not resenting people, but rather seeing them as opportunities to practice Stoic virtues, invites us to elevate our interactions and our responses to challenging situations. It encourages us to rise above the immediate impulse of resentment, to cultivate a deeper sense of patience, kindness, and understanding. This path not only leads to more harmonious relationships, but also to a richer, more virtuous life. Number 7. Be strict with yourself. Navigating the journey of self-improvement and personal growth requires a delicate balance between compassion for others and discipline for oneself. This balance is beautifully encapsulated in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, who emphasized the importance of being lenient with others while being strict with oneself. This Stoic principle underscores the essence of self-discipline, urging us to take responsibility for our actions, thoughts, and growth without projecting our expectations onto others. The path to self-discipline is undeniably a solo journey. It's a personal commitment to uphold higher standards for ourselves, to relentlessly pursue self-control, and to continuously strive for self-improvement. This isn't about setting unrealistic expectations or being harsh and unforgiving towards ourselves. Rather, it's about recognizing our potential for growth and making a conscious effort to move closer to our ideal selves every day. Marcus Aurelius practiced what he preached. His reflections, documented in his meditations, reveal a man deeply committed to self-examination, virtue, and the pursuit of wisdom. He understood that true progress comes from within, and that we have the power to cultivate peace, virtue, and resilience through disciplined thought and action. This Stoic ethos of self-discipline is echoed in the teachings of other great philosophers and psychologists. Aristotle spoke of virtue as a mean between two extremes, achieved through habituation. He believed that by consistently choosing the virtuous path, we could develop a character marked by excellence. Applying this to self-discipline, it's about finding the balance between excess and deficiency, pushing ourselves to grow while also being mindful of our limits. Being strict with oneself, as advocated by Marcus Aurelius, is not about punishment or deprivation. It's about holding ourselves to a higher standard, recognizing our capacity for improvement and taking the necessary steps to actualize our potential. It's about making choices that align with our deepest values, even when they require sacrifice or effort. At the same time, Marcus's advice to be lenient with others reminds us of the importance of empathy, understanding, and compassion. It acknowledges that everyone is on their own journey, facing their own challenges and learning their own lessons. By focusing on our growth without imposing our standards on others, we cultivate not only self-discipline, but also kindness and respect for the diverse paths that people take. Number 8. Ask yourself, is this essential? In our fast-paced modern world, bombarded by endless tasks, notifications, and demands on our attention, the question posed by Marcus Aurelius, is this essential, becomes not just relevant but vital. This question invites us to pause, reflect, and discern the essential from the non-essential, guiding us toward a life of purpose and meaning. Marcus championed the idea of focusing on what truly matters, advocating for a life not led by the chaos of external demands, but by the clarity of internal values. This Stoic principle of prioritization and concentration on the essential is a powerful tool for navigating the complexities of contemporary life. The wisdom of focusing on the essential is echoed across the ages by other great minds in Western philosophy and psychology. Aristotle spoke of the golden mean, the desirable middle between two extremes, one of excess and the other of deficiency. Applying this concept to our daily choices and commitments, we find balance by pursuing activities that are essential for our fulfillment and well-being, avoiding the extremes of overcommitment and apathy. Plato emphasized the pursuit of the good, the true, and the beautiful, ideals that should guide our actions and choices. By asking if something is essential, we align our lives with these higher ideals, ensuring that our actions contribute to our ultimate goals of wisdom, virtue, and beauty. Carl Jung, delving into the depths of the human psyche, highlighted the process of individuation, becoming who we truly are. By concentrating on what is essential, we peel away the layers of societal expectations and superficial desires, getting closer to our authentic selves and the unique path each of us is meant to walk. Amor fati, the love of one's fate, is a call to embrace everything that life throws our way, the good and the bad, with acceptance and enthusiasm. Instead of resisting or lamenting the challenges we face, we learn to see them as opportunities for growth. Number 9. Remember these mantras. Amor fati teaches us to love them, to see them as necessary parts of our journey. Marcus Aurelius, who faced numerous adversities during his reign, embodied this principle by accepting and making the best of his circumstances, no matter how dire. This Stoic mantra echoes the wisdom of other philosophers like Aristotle, who taught that virtue and happiness are found in the acceptance and excellent pursuit of one's life's conditions, not in the conditions themselves. The Stoics believe that, as social beings, our well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of our community. Focusing on contributing to the common good is about recognizing our interconnectedness and our responsibility to each other. It's a call to live ethically, to contribute positively to society, and to consider the impact of our actions on others. Plato's vision of an ideal society where each individual plays their part for the greater good reflects this Stoic value. It reminds us that true fulfillment comes not from self-centered pursuits, but from our contributions to the lives of others. Perhaps one of the most powerful Stoic reminders is memento mori, the practice of reflecting on our mortality. Far from being morbid, this mantra is a powerful motivator to live our lives fully, to prioritize what truly matters, and to let go of trivial concerns. Marcus Aurelius, and indeed all Stoics, saw the awareness of death as a tool to cherish life and to make the most of the present moment. This perspective is shared by Socrates, who saw an unexamined life as not worth living, implying that a life lived without awareness of its finitude misses its depth and meaning. Integrating these Stoic mantras into our lives invites us to live with greater purpose, resilience, and joy. Amor fati encourages us to accept and find value in everything that happens to us, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. The focus on contributing to the common good extends our pursuit of happiness beyond our personal needs, enriching our lives through the well-being of others. Memento mori serves as a poignant reminder to focus on the essential, to love deeply, act kindly, and live meaningfully, aware that our time is finite. Every single day, we're faced with moments that test our patience and rattle our calm. Whether it's a traffic jam when you're already late, a coworker's irritating habits, or your phone battery dying in the middle of an important call. Life seems full of these little battles. It's not just about these minor irritations, though. It's about how we respond to them that shapes our days and, ultimately, our lives. It's important to remember that everyone feels angry sometimes. It's part of being human. But here's where Stoicism steps in with its profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This is pivotal in transforming our relationship with anger. Think about it. When something goes wrong or someone frustrates us, our first instinct might be to react with anger. But what if, instead, we paused and considered this reaction? Stoicism encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, we set the stage for learning how to handle it more effectively. The Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the concept of not being swayed by external events, but instead focusing on our internal responses. They believe that our emotions, including anger, come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. So, when we feel angry, it's often because we're placing a particular value or judgment on what's happened. This understanding opens up a powerful opportunity for us. Each time we feel anger rising, we can ask ourselves, what judgment am I making about this situation? Is there another way to view it? This is not about suppressing or denying your anger. It's about understanding it. By getting to the root of what triggers our anger, we can start to change our responses. For instance, if you get cut off in traffic and feel the anger bubbling up, recognize this as a chance to examine why you react this way. Is it really the action of the other driver, or is it your belief that your route should be obstacle-free? Moreover, acknowledging anger helps us empathize with others who might also struggle with their emotions. This empathy can deepen our connections and improve our interactions. It's about compassion, both for ourselves and for others, as we navigate the complexities of human emotions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and is incredibly liberating once you truly grasp it. Think about it. So much of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we simply can't change, no matter how much we might want to. The Stoics, like the wise Marcus Aurelius, taught that the real power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You control your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. That's it. Everything else is more or less out of your hands. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, and much of the future. But here's where it gets interesting. By focusing on our own reactions and attitudes, we reclaim a tremendous amount of power. Instead of wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we invest it in what we can actually influence. Let's make it practical. Say you're working on a group project and someone isn't pulling their weight. It's easy to get frustrated, right? You might even feel your temper rising, but ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? You can't make your teammate work harder, but you can control how you respond to the challenge. Maybe it's a conversation about expectations, or perhaps it's reallocating work within the group. By shifting your focus like this, you not only reduce your own stress, but also open up more constructive ways to address the problem. Another aspect of this Stoic principle is accepting that some things are just beyond our control. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding where our power truly lies. It's about not letting external events dictate your peace of mind. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic and getting irritated because you're going to be late, pause and think, can I control the traffic? No. But what can you control? Your reaction. Maybe you turn on an audiobook or some calming music, or use the time to think through your day. The beauty of focusing on what you can control is that it gradually builds a stronger, more resilient mindset. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by life's ups and downs because you know where your responsibilities lie and where they don't. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling your energies more productively. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. This aligns beautifully with Stoic teachings, which emphasize awareness of our thoughts and actions and maintaining control over our reactions to external circumstances. So why practice mindfulness? Because it helps us to pause between our experiences and our reactions to them. By becoming more mindful, we can choose responses that align with our values and goals instead of getting swept away by emotions. For example, when someone says something that upsets you, instead of immediately reacting or snapping back, mindfulness allows you to take a step back. You notice your emotional surge, but choose to observe it passively, without acting on it immediately. This space that mindfulness creates is not just calming, it's empowering. It gives you the chance to choose a response that you won't regret later. Let's talk about how to incorporate mindfulness into daily life. Because it sounds great in theory, but it's in the practice that the real magic happens. One simple technique is to focus on your breathing. When you find yourself feeling anxious or angry, take a moment to concentrate on deep, slow breaths. This focus pulls your mind away from the triggers of stress or anger and brings you back to what you can control: your breath. Another practical method is what I like to call mindful observation. Choose an ordinary task or moment, like drinking a cup of coffee. Focus all your senses on this experience. Notice the aroma, the heat of the cup in your hands, the taste. This practice of engaging fully with the present moment can transform an ordinary experience into a richer, more textured moment. What's fascinating about this is that it trains your brain to apply the same level of awareness to more challenging situations. When anger or frustration arises, you'll be better equipped to handle it with the same focus and calm. Stoicism also teaches us about the impermanence of our experiences. Nothing lasts forever, not even our emotions. Mindfulness complements this by helping us to experience our feelings without judgment. Acknowledge that you're angry, recognize it, but also remind yourself that this anger is just a passing state. It's not who you are, and it doesn't control you, unless you let it. The idea that everything changes and nothing lasts forever is a universal truth that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and less frustration. It's about understanding that our circumstances, emotions, and even our thoughts are constantly in flux, and learning to embrace this constant state of change rather than resisting it. Think about how often we get upset because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a job promotion that didn't come through, a relationship that ended unexpectedly, or a sudden change in our health. Our first reaction might be to resist these changes, to get angry or sad. But Stoicism invites us to look at these situations differently, through the lens of impermanence. When we truly grasp that nothing is permanent, we start to realize that our anger or disappointment is also temporary. This doesn't diminish the importance of our feelings, but gives us a more balanced perspective on them. Embracing impermanence allows us to live more in the present and worry less about the past and the future. If you know that everything is temporary, you begin to appreciate your experiences and the people around you more deeply. You don't take things for granted because you're aware that circumstances can change at any moment. This awareness can be incredibly freeing. It reduces the sting of negative events and enhances the joy of positive ones. Now, how do we practice accepting impermanence in daily life? Start by reflecting on the transient nature of your surroundings and experiences. For example, watch how the seasons change. Observe how your feelings shift throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations can be reminders that change is the only constant. Another way to integrate this into your life is by adjusting how you respond to disruptions or unexpected changes. Instead of reacting with frustration when something doesn't go your way, take a moment to acknowledge that this change is part of a bigger flow of life. It's an opportunity to adapt and grow. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you had hoped, and then something better came along. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how these changes were beneficial. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to accept impermanence, it encourages us to find strength in it. Each change and ending is a chance to practice resilience and flexibility. By fostering this mindset, we not only cope with life's challenges more effectively, but also learn to move through them with a sense of peace and anticipation for what's next. The Stoics believed that becoming aware of the root causes of our emotions could lead to greater self-mastery. When we understand our emotions, we are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are aligned with our values and goals, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Every emotion we experience, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or fear, is triggered by our perception. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while speaking, it's worth exploring why. Is it because you feel disrespected? Or perhaps it reflects a deeper insecurity about your voice being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not just your reactions, but also the beliefs and values that underlie them. This understanding is crucial because it gives you the opportunity to change your perceptions and consequently the way you feel. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are predicated on our judgments. The good news is that judgments can be examined and changed. So when you feel a strong emotion, try to step back and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a work presentation, it might be because you believe that you must perform perfectly in order to be respected. But is this really true? Likely, your colleagues value your effort and sincerity more than perfection. Recognizing this can alleviate some of your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calmness and confidence. Practically speaking, journaling can be an incredibly effective tool for understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel it, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not be aware of otherwise. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a sort of emotional intelligence over time that can make you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Speaking about your emotions can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. It's often through dialogue that we come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Embracing the Stoic approach to emotions isn't about suppressing what you feel. On the contrary, it's about engaging with your emotions in a proactive and reflective way. It's about taking control of the narrative of your inner life. By understanding your emotions, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your experience of it. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience, not just as a way to endure, but as a method to transform our experiences. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't just about waiting, it's about how we behave while we wait. It's about maintaining our composure and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often outside our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can trigger impatience. from a slow-moving line at the grocery store to a traffic jam or a delayed response from a colleague. Our first instinct might be to feel irritated or stressed, but here's where Stoicism comes into play. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is a chance to exercise patience, to reinforce our ability to stay calm and collected. So, how can we develop patience in practical terms? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and obstacles are natural parts of life, we're less likely to get upset when they occur. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather aligning our expectations with the fact that the world won't always operate according to our preferences. Another key method is to use the moments of waiting as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming over the delay, you can turn it into valuable time, listening to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns a frustrating situation into a productive or relaxing one. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaging with it, we can distance ourselves from the feelings of urgency and restlessness that often accompany waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a peaceful state of mind that buffers us against the stirrings of impatience. Stoicism not only advocates for patience, but also for understanding the impermanence of our current state. Remembering that this too shall pass can help us endure unpleasant situations, whether it's waiting for a delayed flight or enduring a long recovery from an illness. The knowledge that it is temporary makes it more bearable. Finally, celebrating small victories is crucial in developing patience. When you manage to stay calm during a situation that would normally make you impatient, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we relate to others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Forgiveness in the Stoic sense is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm done. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from carrying grudges. Forgiveness requires a strong sense of self-awareness and control over one's emotions, qualities that Stoics strive to develop. It involves recognizing that our anger and hurt, while natural and valid responses to perceived injustices, are ultimately within our control. This doesn't mean that the process is simple or immediate. Forgiveness can be challenging. It often requires a deliberate, concerted effort to let go of deep-seated feelings of injustice. Consider the power that comes from deciding not to allow someone else's actions to disturb your inner tranquility. This is the essence of Stoic forgiveness. It's about making a conscious choice to not let past actions continually affect your present state of mind. This decision helps you reclaim your emotional energy and focus it on more constructive pursuits that align with your values and goals. Now, how do we start practicing forgiveness in everyday life? It begins with the recognition that all humans are fallible, ourselves included. We all make mistakes, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes out of malice. Reflecting on our own shortcomings can help us develop empathy towards others, making it easier to forgive. Another Stoic practice is to consider the bigger picture. Often, the things we hold on to are not as significant in the grand scheme of our lives. By focusing on our long-term well-being, which is bolstered by peace and harmony, the immediate sting of grievances can be mitigated. Practicing forgiveness also involves actively reframing our narratives. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim, which can perpetuate feelings of anger and helplessness, try to see yourself as a survivor, or even a hero of your story, one who has overcome challenges and emerged stronger. This shift in perspective not only facilitates forgiveness, but also empowers you in your life's journey. Moreover, engaging in meditation or mindfulness exercises can assist in the process. These practices help calm the mind and provide the space needed to process emotions more rationally and less reactively. As you sit quietly and focus on your breath, allow thoughts of forgiveness to enter your mind. Picture those you feel have wronged you, and imagine sending them thoughts of goodwill. This doesn't mean you accept the wrong, but you are choosing to release its hold over you. Finally, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, sometimes a lengthy one. It doesn't happen all at once, and that's perfectly okay. Each step towards forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a freer, more emotionally balanced life. At its essence, self-control allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the time to consider whether our impulses align with our long-term goals. For instance, if you're trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, self-control is what helps you choose not to eat that late-night junk food. In emotional situations, self-control helps you hold back a harsh word or an angry reply, preserving relationships and maintaining peace of mind. How can we strengthen this essential skill? One effective Stoic practice is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each evening to think about the choices you made throughout the day. Were there moments when you lacked self-control? What triggered it? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards managing them. Another powerful technique is to set clear personal rules for behavior based on your values. Stoicism teaches us that living according to rational principles is key to a good life. By setting and following your own rules, for example, not checking your phone during meals or limiting time spent on social media, you exercise self-control in ways that directly improve your daily life and well-being. Visualization is another tool that can be incredibly helpful. Before entering a situation where you know you might be tempted to act impulsively, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with calm and restraint. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel from acting in accordance with your principles. This mental rehearsal can make it much easier to keep your cool in the heat of the moment. It's also beneficial to gradually increase your tolerance for discomfort, which is a big part of what self-control is all about. The Stoics believe that by voluntarily exposing ourselves to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, fasting, or resisting urges, we can strengthen our willpower. These practices teach us that we can endure discomfort and that it's often not as bad as we fear. This realization directly feeds into our ability to exercise self-retreat in more complex emotional or social situations. Lastly, remember that practicing self-control is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you falter. That's just part of being human. What matters is that you recognize these moments, learn from them, and continue to strive for improvement. Each act of self-control, no matter how small, is a victory in its own right and a step towards becoming a wiser, more balanced person.